Chat, what is up? Welcome back to the stream. Hello, hello. Welcome back. How is everybody doing today? Hello. You still don't have hair. I just literally do. I literally do. Hello, chat. Welcome back to stream today. It is me. I'm back. The most consistent streamer on twitch.tv and youtube.com. Today, we have a pretty big update to the stream that's going to change every single stream we do going forward that I figured I'd tell you guys about. Before we do, how do I look? How do I sound? Can you guys hear me? Our volume's fine. I haven't streamed, like, by myself at this setup in so long. I don't know if I remember how to do this. I'll be honest. What is a monk fruit? This is made with a monk fruit, but I don't think I know what that is. You are balder than Doug Doug. Seems unlikely. Okay. Listen up. Chat.
You're my mans.
We are doing a major change on our live stream broadcasts. That change is that on youtube.com, we have enabled chat. And I have both chats pulled up. Okay, YouTube chat is back. All right. Now, you might notice on the screen is Twitch chat. Okay, Twitch chat still gets the screen, which I think should be fine. You guys get the screen. Twitch chat is technically the older sibling in this relationship. YouTube chat is the younger sibling. But you guys have to get along. You have to get along, because I'm not going to be here all the time to micromanage your relationships with one another. We demand they get less rights. Okay, so, like, you have to understand, there are more YouTube viewers sometimes than Twitch viewers. And so you are operating, okay, not too dissimilarly from how South Africa was operated for many, many decades. That's what you're asking for here. You're asking for a minority of people who you deem to be superior to have control over the larger group of people, which I think is wrong. I find that to be wrong. I don't like apartheids. Maybe this makes me controversial. Maybe you want to stop watching me. Anyway, that's the game plan. That is the game plan. I have them both pulled up. Still only care about Twitch Primes, though, okay? Look, I put up the YouTube chat because when I did my stream with Michael Reeves, there were 40,000 people watching on YouTube. Think about that. 40,000 people watching at peak. And I think 20,000 watching on Twitch. None of the 40,000 people could talk. It didn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense. Like, I'm imagining if I'm a viewer, it's kind of just fucking cringe to boot up the stream, be the 40,000 first person, and then be like, oh, there's not even chat? What the fuck? Because it's just a bit weird. So that's why I'm making the change. I don't think it'll change too much of how the streams operate by any means. But I think that's the game plan. All right? I think that's the game plan. I still, if you are a YouTube viewer, want you to fucking come over to twitch.tv to give me your Twitch Prime. Why? Because I lost 15,000 of them. All right? And you're not thinking about how these tariffs are affecting hard-working, blue-collar live streamers. Luckily, my coworkers have already figured it out. But, yes, streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. It's not. Okay? It's not. It's not. Do I work more now than I did when I had a 9 to 5? Yeah. But it's because I get way more fucking money and like doing it. That's what they don't tell you. Is an hour at McDonald's easier than an hour of recording a video? Probably. But then they don't talk about how you have to go to bed and wake up and go to McDonald's the next day. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. And people ignore that. They just think about the time in the McDonald's. It's when you have to go to bed and do it the next day. Actually, I filmed a video that's going to come out soon. Oh, my God. 20 gifted. 20 gifted from DBA Joker. I'm never leaving streaming again. The world's most consistent streamer. Look, my goal is to be consistent, though. My goal is to be consistent. There's no gifted on YouTube? Well, there actually are. But I don't... YouTube member is just if you want to do it. It's only $1. You get emotes. We need to unionize? Okay, no, neither group is unionizing. I just want to get that out of the way. I am anti-union. All right? Because you don't think about how much those dues add up over time. Right? It's not good for you. The union owners don't even care about you guys. Right? You don't even want... I care about you guys, which is why I'm telling you no unions. Thank you, the 5 gifted. Diam Cat. Appreciate that. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, I filmed a video. I filmed a video like, must have been 3 weeks ago now, where I worked for a full day at a French bakery. It's actually a pretty fucking cool video when it comes out. I think you'll like it. But I did the whole thing. I woke up at 4 a.m., 3:30 a.m. actually. 50 gifted from Ollie. Thank you, Ollie, for the 50 gifted on YouTube. I woke up at 3 in the morning. I baked. I worked a full, I think it was like a 10-hour shift. And the guy who owns the bakery was like, man, you did a great job. Like, you did a really good job. I was like, yeah, like, could I have got a job here? Like, was I good enough of a 9-to-5 worker that you'd hire me? And then he says something. He was like, man, it's not about how well you did one day. It's about if you can wake up and do this every day for the next 10 years. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm fucking good on that. Because that is so... It's a marathon. It's a marathon. All right? Can I keep pace for 100 meters? Sure. Can I do it for 26.2 miles? No. No, I can't really. Not at this point, at least. Ray is really confused about your helmet hair and tip to tip. Well, what do you mean confused about it? I just have helmet hair. That is just a thing that happens. There's nothing to be confused. It's just a thing. It's just how it looks. Thank you for all the members. I appreciate it. Thank you for the Twitch primers. The hair's kind of coming back, though. Doesn't it look kind of good? Get a low taper fade? I did. I kind of like the length. I think I'm going to keep growing it out, though. I think I'm going to keep growing it out. I gave my Twitch Prime to Cutie. Okay, I actually am not too mad about that because it also makes sense. I think a lot of you gave your Primes to Cutie instead of me. And again, I'm not mad at you for this because Cutie did say, look how many subs I have. And it was a way bigger number than me. And I was like, that's sick. So it makes sense. It makes sense. And I'm not telling you next month to take your sub away from her and to give it to me. I'm telling you to take it away from people like Squeaks and Sea Dog and give it to me. They're good. I talked to them. They're cool with it. They're cool with it. Pope John Paul III, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I appreciate it. He's good, bro. Squeeze damn good, bro. You don't understand how the tariffs are affecting me. They're affecting me. You want to know something fucked up? Okay, I'll pull it up. I talked about this last stream. I tweeted some bullshit out, as Twitter is made for.
Ludwig Hyper's in the
okay?
chat. We're back on board.
Twitter is made for spreading lies, deceit. So I went around and I fucking lied. I said, just got back the estimates for our merch after the new tariffs. It's not that bad. $74 for a shirt, $293 for a sweatshirt. I hope you continue to give me your money in these uncertain times. I tweeted this out. It was now I talked about this on stream already. I said it was a joke. I talked to Aiden after that stream. Apparently, it wasn't a joke. Apparently, our next merch drop, not the one that's upcoming, because we have one that I just did a photo shoot for today. The one after that was for this summer. One that I'm really excited about. I'm going to go ahead and say it's the coolest merch drop we have ever done. I can't leak what it is yet, because I think I signed something that said I would get sued if I did. That one, we're fucked. There's no other way to phrase it. We are fucked phenomenally. We are literally going to have to pick it up from the ports and pay 125% tariffs. There's no way around it. Alex, you're not first. You weren't No wonder you only gave $5,000 for the Sea Dog VA Cyclothon. First off, I gave $5,000 and 1 penny. So, and if you watch Ryan Trahan, a penny's enough to cross America. It's 145% now. Cool. They're literally just doing the shit that kids do. This is what children do when they try to think of bigger numbers. You go 100, 1,000, billion.
You're my man.
A Google or infinity plus 1. Whatever, man. Whatever. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it, man. We'll figure it out when we figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Your stream is boring as fuck. Okay, so I'd like to announce that I'm turning off YouTube chat. Big update. We are turning off YouTube chat starting today. It is just going to be Twitch chat moving forward. It turns out my ego has been fractured too much by YouTube chat members. True, it is boring. We are also removing Twitch chat.
You're my man.
I am actually just going to be recording YouTube videos only. No, look, here's the thing. That person might not even be wrong. I don't even know if I know how to freaking stream anymore, dude. I don't even freaking know if I know what I'm doing anymore. I've streamed 2 times in the past month. I don't even know what I'm damn doing here. I'm almost 30. I saw this post. Can I pull it up real quick? Okay. I saw this post on Instagram. It hit my Instagram feed. Boom. All right, this is not the actual initial post. This is like a repost of that post, but you'll get the idea. I saw this shit on my Instagram feed. It said the new Mount Rushmore of streamers is going viral. The Mount Rushmore of streamers. And they have Aiden Ross, I Show Speed, Rye Sanat, and Rice Gum. And I was like, how in the fuck is this the list? I felt so out of touch. I was like, how is the list? These 4 streamers.
You're my man.
For the Mount Rushmore. That can't be the Mount Rushmore. No offense to any of these people. It just doesn't make any damn sense. For live streaming, I feel like it's a misunderstanding of what a Mount Rushmore is. I feel like Mount Rushmore, you have to understand, is like, it's kind of like, it's not just the goats, right? It's like the forefathers. It's like, there's a bit of history to it. I'm going to say this. I think my Mount Rushmore of streamers Not one of these people would be on it. Maybe one. Maybe one. You're insane? If I'm thinking Mount Rushmore, right? If I'm thinking Mount Rushmore of streamers, it depends how much respect you want to give to the people who made streaming what it is, right? So, for example, I'll give you a name that nobody in this chat will say. In fact, right now, spam who you think should be on the Mount Rushmore. Go ahead, spam. I don't think a single one of you are going to say the name that I'm going to say. And I'm seeing a lot of names, by the way, that make sense. All right, Lyric, Wreckful, Soda Poppin' Ninja, Germa, Shroud. Like, these are all totally realistic people to put on a Mount Rushmore.
You're my mans.
But none of you are mentioning who is the father, the George Washington of live streaming, Justin Kahn. He's the George. If you were to pick a George Washington, Alex, nobody. If you were to pick a George Washington of streaming, it would be Justin Kahn, who is the founder of Justin TV, which was then changed into Twitch.tv.
You're my mans.
Okay? Because Justin TV started as a website that was supposed to live stream Justin Kahn's daily life, which is why it's called Justin TV. It was a 24/7 feed of Kahn's life with a webcam attached to his head that lasted 8 months. That's the George Washington of that shit. Okay, Unc, go to bed. See, that's what I mean, bro. That's what I mean. I feel like a crazy person because that's what I think. And then I go to fucking Instagram.com and it's a goddamn AI picture of 4 streamers, 3 of who I think started post-COVID. And probably the worst portrait I've ever seen of Kai Cenat ever. Probably the worst one. I don't know how it got this viral. That's not even Kai? I agree. It's supposed to be him. It has 350 likes. It has a lot more likes. I just couldn't find the original. But I promise you, I saw... yeah, let me take a look. This wasn't even the post I saw. But this is a screenshot of a Dexerto tweet with, like, 2 different fucking watermarks with 40,000 likes on Instagram. The hair looks awesome, dude. I appreciate that, man. Who slid Rice Gum in? I think the argument for Aiden Ross is that he made live streaming cool for not nerds, basically. He made it cool for Nazis? Yeah, he did that too. You know, and it's like, he's really just spreading it around. He's spreading it around. That's the thing about him. And you guys don't give him enough credit for that. It's rage bait? I don't think it's rage bait. Okay, look, here's the thing. You guys watch Ludwig, okay? So you have to understand that puts you in a circle where you are already, and I'm sorry if you didn't know this, a fucking nerd, okay? I'm sorry. You are in a fucking nerd circle. Okay? If you are in my live stream, if you are watching my Mario Party gameplay, my collabs with Squeaks, if you are watching me beat the world's hardest game, if you like me playing Pokemon, you're a fucking nerd. That's just what it is. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be buff, doesn't mean you can't be a jock or whatever. It just means you have a little nerdy side of you, all right? Which, by the way, shouldn't even be that big of an insult because nowadays that's considered kind of cool, all right? 30 years ago, you'd actually get bullied. Now it's kind of cool. You're chilling. It's rage bait or 15-year-olds. Okay, it's just not that, okay? There's definitely some 15-year-olds. And it's rage bait for like live stream endemic people. But this live streaming space is bigger than it was 5 years ago. We share this live streaming space now, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, there were live stream viewers who like understand the history of Twitch. Started Justin TV, and then you got fucking Shroud, and then Ninja got so rock hard off Prime, he got 200,000 people subscribe, and you have freaking Amogus, and you have Siglemic who's running Mario and all that shit, yeah. But then you have people who only play like Call of Duty or 2K, who only know about Twitch because Aiden Ross, IShowSpeed, and Kai Cenat, and that's it. And you know how I know this? I was on a plane ride. And I spent the entire plane ride talking to this guy. He's a football player. He's a college football player. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I started asking about what his life is like being a college football player. And, you know, he played for USC. And he told me about his whole journey getting there. And then he asked what I did. And, you know, because I'd asked so many invasive questions, I was like, oh, well, you know, I'll just tell him. I was like, yeah, I'm a live streamer. He's like, oh, you stream? I was like, yeah. He's like, would I know you? Like, what is it? Are you, frankly, he was like, are you big? And I was like, oh, you know, it's working out. You know, I have some following. And then I was like, do you know any live streamers? He's like, I don't really watch it. I'll be honest. I was like, none taken. No offense here. No offense given. And I was like, do you know any streamers like Ninja? And I'm not even lying. He goes, who? And I go, oh, well, like, what live streamers do you know? And I'm not lying. He goes, oh, I know, like, Aiden Ross, IShowSpeed, Kai Cenat. That's all he knew. That is all he knew. By the way, this guy's like 20 years old. He's like 20. That's all he knew. And I was like, all right, we're in a different era. We're in a different era of the damn world. You know what we need back? Who's the motherfucker who used to do that mapping the Twitch universe? We need the mapping of the Twitch universe. That map looks different as fuck nowadays. And I also just want to see, low-key, for my own personal interest, who's sharing viewers with Asmongold? I can't imagine anyone is. I feel like there are people who go on the website and they're jumping into Asmon's chat. Maybe there's cross viewership with Hassan's chat because they're hate viewing Hassan, and Hassan's chat is hate viewing Asmon, I imagine. But I don't know who on Twitch is sharing that many viewers. Destiny? I don't think he's on Twitch, right? I guess maybe OTK. Perhaps OTK. I think that'd be cool. Bring that back. To the makers of the Twitch Atlas. Come back. We miss you. All right, chat. Guys. It's been a while since I streamed. I've missed a lot of things. The streaming space has gotten out of whack since I've been gone. Okay? Extra Emily's running red lights. Rice Gum is considered now the GOAT of streaming. I saw this dude is just fucking torturing himself with Chinese water torture. For bits. Okay? So clearly this 1 month that I have taken off has led to a much different ecosystem now. All right? So I need to do a bit of catching up. So anyway, today I figure we can do a Reddit recap, maybe watch some clips, shoot the shit, talk, kind of ease my way back into streaming. Tomorrow, I have kind of a fun stream. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, that's when I'm hoping to start. It might be a little later. Let's just say 3:30. I'm trying to do the world's first Mario Party League live. Okay? Me, Nick, Ben, and Miles playing Mario Party 4 2v2. Not PSL. This predates PSL by many years. Okay? Quick little history lesson. I have a podcast called The Yard. It is called The Yard because we used to play Mario Party 2v2. Mario Party 4 specifically. Me and Nick versus Ben and Miles. Shirts for skins. And we would drink a fuck ton. We'd play Mario Party. We'd get fucking pissed off at each other because we'd be getting drunk and then, you know, playing a competitive game. And then we would fight in a yard outside. And so you would see somebody in the yard. And then we called our podcast The Yard. So that's it. We're gonna do it tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna do it in the yard set tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a drinking stream. Yes, we will be driving after. Yes, we will be driving. Yes, it'll be a motorcycle, max speed without a helmet. Yes. Around 3-ish p.m. We're going to play Mario Party 4 again. Now, just to be clear, we've never done Mario Party League live. I don't think. I think every time we've done Mario Party League, it's been filmed. Straight to tape. So this will be a live recording, and I think we're all kind of washed. So it really is like goats coming out of retirement for one final job. We'll see how it goes. How many turns? It'll be best of 3, 20 turns each. Mario Party League. Yeah, the last one was 5 years ago. There might have been one after this, but 2019. Is the new Red Bull flavor good? It fucking rules, but I don't know what monk fruit is, and I'm too scared to ask because I've been drinking it so much. Monk fruit. No way, it looks like big balls. It looks like big, hairy nuts. How the hell is that what I'm drinking? It looks like a shaved petrified kiwi. All right. It's great. It's yummy. Looks like your head. Okay. Guys, we're going to move on from making fun of my hair, okay? Cuz A, it looks fucking snatched. And B, we've run it into the ground. Okay? Yes, I look freaking snatched. Seriously. I look sexually attractive with this haircut. This is a snatched ass haircut. And I won't take no for an answer. You look like Lex Friedman. Okay, that's actually fucking mean. I don't think Lex Friedman does like a buzz, or excuse me, he doesn't do like a fade. I feel like Lex Friedman just cuts his own hair with a clipper on one setting. He just goes. Yeah, Sid from Toy Story. Okay. Grow it out Vinny Hacker length. Here's the issue. You know when you go to a barber and they ask for a picture? What you're not considering is genetics, okay? So it doesn't matter how long I or you grow out our hair. We're not going to look like this guy. It's just not going to fucking happen. If you go to a barber and they say, give me a picture of what you want, and you show this, the only appropriate response from the barber should be fucking leave the barber shop, purchase a Bible, open it, pray. Because that is the best chance you have of looking like this. No magic a barber can do is going to get you closer to any fucking hacker. God loves him more than the rest of us. It's okay. Cardio is not the difference maker. It's not like you run a couple miles a day and you're there. All right, chat. Chat, let's take a look. Also, I was thinking of maybe watching a summoning assault video today. Is that crazy of me? Am I fucking out of pocket for this? He dropped a video that was the history of Mario 64 120 star, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Because I do like Mario 120 star. Jet lag? I mean, jet lag would be another day. What do you think about QD on Baldur's Gate? What do I think about it? I think like a certain way about it. I hope she has fun. I'm not like, oh, she can't be playing with other women. They're conspiring. Like, I'm not thinking about it in a... Hope she has a good time, I guess. Are you jealous that she's playing video games with people? No. Not particularly. Why do you look sunburned? I am sunburned. Can we watch PvP Civ? Not today. No, not today, folks. Everybody relax. Look, here's what I need to do, okay? We need to do a little Reddit recap, chat. I want to go over some of the posts that I have missed over the past month. Because the first one kind of blew up, which makes sense, okay? Because it's a tangentially political tweet on Reddit right now, which is ripe for political posts. Warriors or Grizzlies? Grizzlies. Anyway, it's my tweet. We talked about it ad nauseum. Ludwig's way of not being overtly political while showing his stance. People give me so much credit. I actually just thought it'd be funny to lie. I wasn't even thinking about it like that. I just genuinely thought I'll fucking lie and that'd be funny. And that was it. I didn't even think about anything else at all. I just like lying. That was a lie? Yeah, it was a lie. I don't know the price of my merch before tariffs or after tariffs. And by the way, I don't want to know. I hired someone to figure that out for me. His name's Aiden. I don't want to fucking figure it out, Aiden. I got shit to do. I got to travel across all of Japan without a map. I'm not in between Kyushu and Miyazaki, the island, on the phone figuring out our merch situation. Figured tariffs were going to be the death of streamer merch. They'll be the death about everything. Okay, there's a lot of people dooming about tariffs, which is fair. A lot of people say make in America, which is feasible. It's actually, we've done it before. We've also made our merch from Egypt before. So there's many places we can make it from. The only place we are screwed is on the merch we've already designed and worked with a different partner in China that it was supposed to come out in summer. But it's not that, it's annoying outside of that. Here's the biggest issue that I feel like people make. All right? And Aiden talked a little bit about this on the podcast. By podcast, I mean Lemonade Stand. I feel like people have this idea, because I tweeted this out, right? That I'm making my shit in China. Why don't you make it in America? Okay? And it's true. It is true that there are manufacturers of clothing in America. All right? The issue isn't even necessarily the cost of making the merch in America. That's not even the issue. Because with the tariffs, you're right, it would be probably cheaper to make them in America. Is that America is actually worse at making merch than China. China's better. They have more options. I feel like there's this idea that all the manufacturing in China is dog shit. But it's cheap because they're paying them in fucking coal and toothpaste. And they work babies 9 to 9 o'clock Monday through Monday. But they can only make dog shit ass butt. And we in America make amazing shirts you could never dream of. And it's like, no, that they've been doing the manufacturing for so long that they own the entire spectrum of it. They can, to be clear, make the dog shit. And a lot of dog shit they do make. But they also make the good shit. They also make the very good mass-produced shit. They make the whole range, the whole kit and caboodle. So there are some things that we make that the cost of the thing alone is like $50 to $75. Just the cost to make it. Because it's such a high-quality item for a custom item for a streamer to make. But even if I would be down to spend $100 to make it in America, they don't have the options to for a lot of the ideas. Consistent is spelled wrong in your title. Okay, so there goes all my fucking points thrown out the fucking window because of a typo. God damn it, dude, man. It's a fucking point anymore. So anyway, it's not a impossible issue to resolve. Again, we've worked with partners in America. We've worked with partners in like Egypt as examples. And we could work with them again. It is just for the drop. We've already created the mock-ups of what we would like and the designs. It's not as easily. You can't just be like, here's the designs. Now make them in America because they just don't do it. They just don't do it a lot of the time. Is the camera kind of tilted? It fucking is, right? Okay, thank God you said that because I thought the same thing, but I didn't know if I was going crazy. It is tilted.
You're my mans.
I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix it, though. It is tilted, but I don't know how to damn fix it. Celsius. Dude, I did a shoot with Lily today. Lily was a big fan of Tip to Tip because Michael Reeves is in it, but she treated me like I was a cartoon character. Because she walked up and she said, can I tell you my 5 favorite lines from Tip to Tip? I liked Celsius. I liked Does This Town Have God? I liked when Michael said, I am growing stronger than your confidence. And I liked when Michael said, where's Hitler? This is just porn. And I was like, dude, stop like quoting your favorite show like you're an 11-year-old at the dentist's office and I'm trapped with you. What are you doing to me? Have you seen the new Foddian game? Okay. All right. All right. This is a public service announcement. I don't care about your Foddian game. I'm sorry. But it has been 6 years of receiving emails almost every week of, hey, man, I created a game that's Jump King meets sucking yourself dry, okay? And I think you could play. It's the new best Foddian game. It's called Rib Removal or whatever the fuck. I get it all the time. And I think people think that there's a game plan of make Foddian game, all right? Fucking pump that shit out, send it to YouTuber plays it, sell a bunch of fucking copies, make some money, and then make the shit you actually want to make. All right? There's not a Ludwig strat. It doesn't exist. I don't have that strat available. I'm not open for business in that way. I don't hate small businesses. I hate dog shit games. Okay? And a lot of them, frankly, are dog shit. They miss, I think, what makes Foddian games fun to play. They just mastered what makes them not fun to play. But it needs both parts. You need to feel accomplished for sacrificing your time to play the dog shit game. All right? A lot of them miss that. Okay? I'm smelling a tier list. Brother, I already did it. I literally did it. Where is it? Where is it? I did it like last month. Boom. So anyway, it's not to say I'll never play a Foddian game ever again, but I'll only play one if it makes itself known. Does that make sense? If it's so powerful of a game that it transcends, you know, the noise. It's gotta lift itself above the noise. And I'm not saying it's impossible to do that. I think Get to Work did that. I was not early to play Get to Work. I did not just play Get to Work because HR was involved in it. I played Get to Work because it looked like a good game, and I think it was. Thank you to 5 gifted Dale Foreman. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, I think I'm cooling it. I'm cooling it on Foddian games, unless they're electric. Unless they're wildly electric and beautiful and fun to play. Also, I'm going to play League of Legends again. Okay. All right. Any questions? Can we move on? Next subject. Next subject. Okay, let me explain. Don't fucking freak the fuck. You guys are freaking out. You guys are being so dramatic right now. All I said is I'm going to play League of Legends, and you're saying no as if I said a third tower had been hit. Okay? It's not that bad. It is not that bad. Don't say it's worse. Obviously, it's not worse than a terrorist attack. It's just a video game. Okay, I have plans to do another League Week with Connor. All right? I'll have a more formal announcement on when that'll be and what lanes we'll play. But there's an opportunity to do a League Week too. That's all. That's all. Okay? That's all. That'll be fun. League Week was fun. League Week was freaking fun, dude. People talk about how freaking fun that freaking thing was. Anyway, that's gonna be a game plan, and I'm also, here's the thing, I am the owner of Shopify Rebellion. Okay, I'm the owner of Shopify Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion has a league team. All right, so I just have to stay fresh in case they need like a roster fill, a sixth man, if you will. All right, I just have to stay on my toes in case. You don't know when it'll come up. So I just need to be ready for when it does come up. So Delulu, you are barely platinum. Yet you still have to type out platinum. Interesting. You're barely the hottest person I've ever met. That's what you're saying to me right now. That's what I hear. You're barely the most friggin' breathtaking, beautiful person I've ever met. Still am. Still am. Thank you. Mario Kart tournament. Mario Kart tournament's going to happen when the Switch 2 releases, okay? I want to be very clear. I am participating in the boycott. Not personally. I'm doing it by proxy of you guys. You are going to boycott on my behalf. It makes more of an impact that way. So there's about 15,000 people watching on both YouTube and Twitch. You 15,000 are not allowed to buy a Switch 2. I'm going to buy 10 of them so that I can run a Mario Kart tournament. Because if 15,000 people only buy 10 Switches, that's pretty good. That's pretty freaking good as far as boycott works. I'm going to still buy them. Okay? I feel like that's a chill agreement we have. I want one. Okay, fine. 11. But no fucking more. No fucking more. I'm buying 2. Fine. 13. But we're done at that. Evil. You are the last one who's allowed to buy one. No one else is allowed to buy one. Why are we boycotting? I think people are hoping, in response to the price hikes that Nintendo has set, to boycott the release of the Switch 2 in hoping that they'll change the price. Spoiler alert, of course it won't happen. Of course not. Not even a little bit at all, even a little bit. It's fucking Nintendo. They just figured out you can make games higher than 60 FPS this year. They figured it out this year. I think they're reading the feedback from 10 years ago.
You're my mans.
So, it's not going to happen, but I think that's the goal that people are at least putting forward. Nintendo still sells Breath of the Wild for $60? Yeah, because they're getting Aiden to purchase it. He's purchased it like 4 fucking times. Because he keeps losing his copy and restarting his progress. Luckily, he makes no progress because he's horrible at one-player games. Dude, yesterday, speaking of Aiden's penis, I saw it. We were at a Wii Spa, which I've talked about before on this channel. It's like a Korean spa in LA that it's like an onsen, if you know what that is, right? They got like a warm bath, a hot bath, a cold bath, a sauna, a steam room. You go, you get butt-ass naked. There's a bunch of men. You shower. You get in those tubs. You relax. You get out. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. It's relaxing. It's the best sleep you'll ever have. And for the first time ever, I went with slime. Slime is, every time I've ever asked in the past, always said no. Aiden has always said yes with a caveat that he invites a 17-year-old friend. And Nick always says no, still says no to this day. Still never gone with Nick. And so... what'd you say? I said Nick didn't want to go. Yeah, Nick didn't want to go. So anyway, it's me, Aiden, and Slime. All right, we're showering. We're in the freaking tub. We're doing our thing, and Slime's never been in one of these places before. So I'm kind of walking him through it. I'm like, you got to take off your shoes before entering the changing room. And he's like, do I put shorts on? And I'm like, no, actually, you just go butt-ass naked into the room. And he's like, okay. So he goes butt-ass naked. But what I didn't tell him is that people don't generally talk in certain areas in this place. Now, places that people do talk, in the locker room, it's fine to talk. In the shower area, people don't really talk. In the baths, people talk at like maybe a lower volume. That's totally fine. People don't really talk in the sauna. Okay, if you've been to a sauna, maybe with your boys it's a bit different, but like a public sauna, people are kind of more quiet, right? Saunas can be somewhat of a quiet zone. And this sauna specifically has a TV in it. So every time I've been in the sauna, it's quiet as hell. Quietest damn place you've ever heard in your life. And so I'm running them through.
You're my man.
We do warm bath, hot bath, cold bath to sauna. Because if you go cold bath to sauna, then you get a shield and you get in the sauna. We're in the sauna, and instantly, SportsCenter Top 10 shows up on the TV. And I'm like, we came at the best fucking time possible. You know? Fuck cable, but this is the best thing cable ever produced. SportsCenter Top 10. So we're going through the SportsCenter Top 10, and Slime instantly starts talking. He's got a comment after every single clip. Hockey clip comes up, he just starts going, I could do that every time. Doesn't matter what the clip is. Doesn't matter what they do on the hockey on the hockey rink. He goes, I could do that. Yeah, that one's easy. And so I'm giving him a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you could. You're beast mode. Baseball comes up. He's making some comments. He's like, do you think it's weird Shohei took this from the white people? Do you think it's weird that Shohei took it from the white people? This is a packed sauna, mind you. There are 2 layers to the sauna. There's like 12 people in there. It's so packed that when someone new comes in, people have to shuffle over to make room. Right? There's only 2 people again making noise. It's Slime. And then it's this other guy who's sitting right next to the TV. And after every clip, he goes, mm-hmm, huh. Like after every SportsCenter top 10 clip, he's like reacting to how good the clip was. Yep, no, he did that one. Whew. He's just doing that. He kind of sounds like he's ad-libbing on a rap song. And then Slime. And his comments start to get more and more, how you say, aggressive. You know? They get more aggressive. They just get more, you shouldn't be saying this in public. Unhinged is a good word for it. He's like, I thrive, you go live, Lakers in 5. He's just saying shit. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. It's like a basketball clip came on the screen. He had nothing else to say. And then eventually, there's like a moment where it shows the WNBA draft. Like, you know, in between. It like pops up as like a stinger. And so I'm trying to make more casual conversation. So I go, did you see the WNBA drafts? Haley Van Fleet joined Angel Reese. Now, Slime knows one women's basketball player. It's Caitlin Clark, of course. But in response to that, he goes, Angel Reese sounds like a trans porn star's name. And that comment cut through the entire sauna, and like 3 people started snickering under their breath. And so he felt the need to defend. He's like, it really does, though. It really does. Because apparently there is a famous trans porn star whose last name is Reese. That's why. This is some deep knowledge. He hits a banger. Yeah, I guess you could call it a banger. Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Sorry, it's Buck Angel. It is because Buck Angel, not Buck Reese. Buck Angel. That's what he said to me after. He goes, Buck Angel. And I was like, I don't have that name off top like that. I'm not elite. He has elite polls. Why does he know that? Bro knows ball. Why are you flaming him? Why are you flaming him for bro knowing ball? Anyway, we get out, you know, we have a little bite to eat. There's like a common area. We chill. And today, instantly, because I still haven't told him that he kind of broke etiquette. He was like, trying to hit the Wii again. He keeps calling it the Wii. He was trying to hit the Wii again. Slept like a baby last night. He's a big fan. He's become a fan overnight. I just don't have the heart to tell him. I don't know if he's cut out right now. I don't know if he's cut out for the Wii Spa. You're mad that they love him at the Wii? I mean, that's the thing about Slime is, you know, he breaks all the rules, but then sometimes people leave loving him more than the people who follow the rules. Were there any penis sightings? I mean, yeah, like fucking several dozen. But it's not like, you know, it's not like a thing. You don't make a thing of it. They're just there. It's just a human body part. The only time it was kind of weird is when I was in the hot tub, or the hotter tub, whatever, the hotter bath. And there was this other guy there. And he was asking me about this like section, because I guess this was his first time, that had like scrubs. But I was sitting in the hot bath. And he was sitting on the edge of the hot bath, spread. And he was to my left. And so I was just like, I feel like if you're going to talk to me, you have to be on the same level as me. I'm here for the bukkake. Your penis can't be at my head height. And you're asking me a question. Thank you, Ellum, for the raid. Or no, it's Wall. Excuse me. I said Ellum. Oh, fuck. There's a bunch of Frenchies in here now. Salut. Salut, les gars. Ça va? J'espère que vous avez une bonne journée aujourd'hui. Je suis tellement française. Hey, Paul J. New Pierre. You sound like a sim. Speaking French is hard, man. All right? What do you want from me? Speaking French is freaking hard. I'm going to France, though. I'm going to France later this year, I think. I will say I am envious of the French streaming space. The French streaming space seems to be in a much better spot than the English-speaking one. The English-speaking one is very fractured. It seems very catty. It's very large, so there's certain streamers or sides of it that people don't even know about. You know, obviously not everything's hunky-dory. I'm sure there's beef in the French streaming space, but they seem to get along better. You can't have like a Z event in America, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's not close enough for that. It wouldn't have the same level of je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying? That's a little French for you guys, by the way.
You're my mans.
Guys, I'm trilingual now. You have to respect me. Watashi no atama wa mecha oki desu. Dude, I was doing a shoot. I was so embarrassing. I was doing a shoot. I don't think I can leak what it was, but it was with Pokey. And I was talking to this guy, and this guy had an accent, but I couldn't quite place where he was from because he spoke English so well. And he was saying that he saw that I had like this hat actually that Tim got me that had some Japanese on it. And he said, "Oh, I saw your Japanese hat. Have you been to Japan? Are you going to Japan?" And I went, "Oh, I actually just got back from Japan. I did this trip there." And he asked what I did. And I explained it was the Dodgers hat. Tim got me a Dodgers hat that says Los Angeles in katakana. And so I explained that I did this trip across Japan on a motorcycle and that I couldn't use a map. And he's like, "Well, it sounds so hard. I could never do that." And I was like, "I'm sure you could probably do it. You know, it's just about having confidence." And it was only a little bit later in the day, like an hour or so past, where we were talking. And when it comes up in someone else's conversation, that person I was talking to was just Japanese. They were Japanese from Japan. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, maybe you could cross Japan without a map. I'm sure you could figure it out. Short stuff. I'm sure, little bro, you could figure that shit out. Bro's Japanese. Of course he can fucking figure it out. Damn. I didn't know, though, and I didn't want to make the call. I didn't want to make the call that he was straight up Japanese. It felt too bold. It felt too presumptive. Didn't know which Asian. I didn't want to assume. Okay? Delayed ass Discord message. I forgot to do it. I forgot to tag the entirety of my Discord. Look, it was an hour of us time. If you just came in here from the Discord, sometimes we have an hour of us time. All right, let's get to our next post in the subreddit. Cutie created a sim town of streamers, and Ludwig died for refusing to dress appropriately. She created a Sims town of like 50 streamers and let most of them make autonomous decisions without her interference. Then added a bunch of mods for drug, murder, violence, and other stuff. To her dismay, Ludwig refused to take off his coat during Heatwave and died, which feels oddly Ludwig of him. Slime Sim also adopted a baby. What? How is that a Ludwig thing? How are you going to sit there? Why are you guys all suddenly in agreement that, yeah, it's a Ludwig thing to fucking refuse to take off a coat and die? Why would I? Because you're an idiot. Okay. Thank you, Luda. Thank you, fucking Luda, for that really nice comment.
You're my man.
50 gifted or a really nice sandwich? I don't know what that means, fake news, but get yourself a nice sandwich. I've actually made a decision. 2025, guys, I'm going to start dressing nice. I made a decision. I'm going to start dressing nice. Stop saying fucking Lamau. I'm being serious. I genuinely can't. I'm about to hit my 30s, okay? And I figure it's time to dress nice. Kelby, thank you for the 6 months. I've made a decision too. Anyone have hemlock? Skip the mess, brother. Skip the mess, brother. I have a solution for you. Don't worry. I'll take care of you. Scranton style. I've decided I'm going to start dressing nice. I'm going to have good fits. Fit check right now. Now's not a good time. Now's not a good time. I'm wearing Naruto fucking pants. I'm wearing Naruto pants. Okay? Now's not a good time. But I'm actually throwing out my Crocs. I'm getting rid of my Crocs. I'm not going to donate my Crocs, but I'm getting rid of my Crocs. I think I'm leaving Croc life. Perhaps forever. It is the end of an era, yeah. Sell them, auction them for charity. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not opposed to that. But I am getting rid of them. I have like 8 pairs probably, maybe 10 pairs. Why? They left me, bro. They fucking dropped me for Valkyrie. Okay? What did I do? Don't tell me what I just read in chat is fucking real. I'm sorry, hold up. Don't fucking tell me what I just read in chat is real. They sponsor Ellum? Is that real? Is this real?
Disperse the crops. Okay, so there's only a select few of each kind.
Dude, it's genuinely like looking at 1944 footage of the Axis powers coming together. And I'm sitting here like FD fucking R, appalled at what I'm seeing. I guess he was dead at that era. The ghost of FDR then. Those are your friends? These are fucking terrorists in my mind. I did not stutter. I did not mince my words. It's not that bad. It's that bad, bro. How many years? How many years did I fucking rock these Crocs? They still got me on their fucking website, bro. They still got me on their fucking website. What is dull? What the fuck is dull? I haven't streamed in a month. What the fuck is even this? Jesus Christ. Okay. So anyway, I'm moving on, man. I'm moving on. I'm dressing nicer. 2025. I'm 30 fucking years old now. It's time to dress like it. Okay? Big changes. I've told you big changes are coming. Show us your fit for tomorrow. Not quickly. I didn't say they're coming quickly. Chill. They're coming eventually. It's not like a speedy process. Celeste when? I already played Celeste, bro. Get me off the hook. You need a stylist? Okay, I do low-key think stylists are for are lame. This might make me controversial. I think stylists are lame. Why? Okay, because I feel like what you should do is get some base level knowledge of, you know, style. And ultimately, what is style but yours, right? That's what style is. It's like what you like, what you think looks good. You know, it would, I feel like it's akin to having somebody create a Spotify playlist for you and then being like, this is the music I like. Like, what? Find the music you actually like that's your music. You know, find the fucking clothes you like. And then I'm not saying I can't, outside help is bad. You know, I'm not saying you can't, like, you, to learn, like, shoe brands or matching color or whatever the fuck you want to go hamburger for every outfit. But if your entire wardrobe is just picked by somebody else, you are no different than a 4-year-old who's going to preschool. You're the same thing. Fucking, you have someone pick out your whole wardrobe and they dress you up? What are you, 4? Like, what are we doing here? Pick out your own damn clothes that you like. Now, I'll give an exception. If it's like a big formal event, I understand. I actually think that makes a lot of sense. If it's like a big formal event and you have like a stylist picking out an outfit for this formal occasion, I'm okay with that. Okay? But I think if they're like picking out your wardrobe for day to day, I'm anti. I'm against. Doesn't Cutie dress you every morning? No.
You're my mans.
And to be honest, it's kind of insulting that you're even saying that. Because it really shows what you think about her, that you think the outfits I wear she picked. Because have you seen any of the outfits I've worn over the past 4 years? Like, you gotta have a little more respect for Cutie than that. All right. Oh, look at this. Tip-to-tip crew at the finish line. Cute. Nice. Thank thee for thy efforts. Is that my boy Nobby? That is your boy Nobby. Nobby rules. Red Bull athlete on the front page of CNN. How far can you go without a map in smartphone in Japan? Dude, I found out about this article because Maya's dad found it and linked it to her, and then it got to me from there. That's where I found it from. But it's actually a very nice article. That just talks a little bit about tip to tip. Some beautiful pictures in it. And then it quotes actually this one dude who I follow on Twitter. Jeffrey, a PhD, lecturer at Konda University in International Studies, specialty in Japanese politics. Jeffrey Hall, yeah, he was quoted in it. And he had really nice things to say. What is it? There's a phenomenon of people who come here to make content that is provocative and annoying to other people around them. That particular type of nuisance YouTuber or nuisance influencer have really damaged the image of foreign influencers in general. And then they talk about Johnny Somali, which, you know, that is him. And then they said that Ogren, who often points a camera away when talking to people, is different from the nuisance travelers, as he shows a better understanding of social norms, one of which is not to film people without their permission, he added. That's something a lot of American streamers don't think about, the consequences, but people in Japan value their privacy very much. Okay. This is a very nice thing to say. It's a very nice quote. I have to say, I wasn't even thinking about that. Not to say that that's not something worth considering, is being respectful, but I was just so shy. I was like, I just couldn't imagine in my head being at a convenience store and then, like, if you're the fucking person, being like, you know, fucking, hi, hello. I couldn't even imagine doing that. I was way too shy to do that. So I was just like, I'll just film my own face. I feel much more comfortable doing that. I just can't. I can't. The only time I ever put the camera on someone is when I clearly had a vibe that they were hella down to help. And like we had talked a bit before, you know, like the first 7-Eleven lady with the fucking baseball. Like we talked for 20 minutes off camera. But some of them, yeah, it's just too tough. Social anxiety. Dude, so I thought I was the one in the relationship between me and Cutie who didn't have any social anxiety. And then I discovered a new beast within Cutie today. We were at lunch today, me and Cutie, and we're just talking, we're eating. Lunch ends. We're getting up to leave lunch. And she goes to the table next to us. I have no idea what's going on. I'm holding her leftovers. And she goes, "Hi, sorry, I hate to, you know, be that girl who was listening into your conversation, but I was fucking listening into your conversation. And I heard that you work in the film industry, and I would love to shoot something together sometime." She just fucking ripped that. And the lady's like, "Oh my God, wow, yeah, here's my thing." And then they like shared information or whatever. But I was like, bro, what the fuck? What is even that? I would, first off, I don't eavesdrop because I know, I'm not because I'm better than her. I just don't have the capability. Cutie is a constant eavesdropper. And she's like, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, "No, I can barely fucking think and listen to you at the same time. I'm not good at this. I have to choose to think or not think. I can't also listen to someone else. So I'm dead there. But she's able to fucking two conversation, and she's constantly eavesdropping. So not only is she eavesdropping, she's also using the eavesdrop knowledge and announcing it. So yeah, she's gone kind of beast mode. Yeah, apparently CNN reached out to me for comment on this article, but they reached out while I was in Japan without a way to reach back. Red Bull athlete! Deduboru asurito. Fan art for this legendary moment. Genuinely hope they make it there safely. Look at that. Fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful what it happens when you touch our damn tips together. Clueless white guy orders in horrible Japanese. This is so bad. Is this her actual face? Is this photoshopped? I'm going to get on my Nick A30. No, this is a photoshopping. You can see there's a masking going on here. She actually had a big smile. It's a masking situation. That's not what her face looked like. She was very happy. You guys just fucking constantly kvetching about the lack of videos. Cam pulled it off. Day one day off, 14 uploads in 15 days. Salute to the GOAT. Yeah, he went crazy. He did go crazy. How did he like the post without a smartphone? Curious. You say you don't use smartphones, yet you liked an Instagram post. Checkmate, liberal. Fuck. Boomed again. Boomed again. Woke has caught me. Woke has caught me. Did Cam get a bonus? He's getting paid in exposure. Shout out to Cameron. Temmie before and after tip to tip. To be loved is to be changed. Michael said he's going to fix it. How is he going to fix it? Oh, maybe ask Lily to paint it. She'd actually probably be down. Meet the RV crew. Early morning meetings before the boys hit the road. We never know where we'll end up. We usually have, oh, this is Adam, right? I'm not even going to fucking lie. This is one of the craziest selfie angles I've ever seen in my life. You remind me of Fedmeister type shit. Okay. Like, mods, we're just letting those comments run fucking free? You're seeing that shit going W comment? Like, what are we doing here?
You're my mans.
And they threw a type shit at the end to, like, what, class up the comment? Can't class it up right there. Tip to tip France? Tip to tip France wouldn't be interesting. France is too small. It's also too easy. I think part of the appeal of Tip to Tip is I had to communicate with people to figure out where to go, and I had to communicate with a lot of people because our initial communications would break down and we wouldn't understand what they're saying and they wouldn't understand what we're saying. So if I go to France, I could find the first person I see. I could get every step of the way to get from the northmost point to the southmost point. Just in one, it would take one person. I'm good at speaking. I'm fluent in French. You have to understand that. Australia, same thing. You know? They would use the word keen a lot more, but I would still just understand English. That's so mean, chat. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. So desu. Harry Potter. Triumph just found out today that Ludwig rode their motorcycle across Japan. Wait. Oh. Triumph Japan. International influencer Ludwig takes us on a 14-part journey across Japan on a Triumph from Kyushu to Cape Soya. The challenging spirit and travel conditions required to travel across Japan by motorcycle in winter are also amazing. No smartphones allowed, no translation to map searches. Please take a look at their journey, which is entirely on the local roads. Yeah, they're calling me the White Eye Show Speed of Twitch. International creator. I did my Japan tour. We're going to China. We are going to China. We're going to take it by storm. We're going to take back what's ours from China. We're doing a tour there. We're going to go tip to tip in China. We're going to go tip to tip in China. That's what we're doing. How do you say Red Bull athlete in Chinese? That's step one. That post is made by the dealer where I bought them. Oh, yeah, that dealer rules. That dealer did rule. Does anyone else think it's weird that his video description has a link to the person who circumcised Ludwig? Cut by Shake Drizzle. Because it says cut by Shake. It's a cut by joke. Chat, can you guys solve an issue that Shake Drizzle and Nick Yingling are having? It's actually becoming a bit of a problem in the workplace. You see, Shake Drizzle lives in an apartment. And in his apartment, he has a balcony. All right, stick with me now. Now, Yingling does not have this balcony. And so Yingling wants to go to Shake Drizzle's apartment, go onto his balcony, and grill up some fucking burgers and dogs. Okay? Explain what a balcony is to Yingling fans. It's basically like a space you can be outside with air around you that you access from the apartment. Anyway, Yingling, again, wants to grill up some dogs and burgers. Shake is saying that he actually can't do it because there's people living above him and the smoke will dissipate from his floor, travel up, and seep into that room, and he does not own the right to make smoke for the upstairs rooms. Yingling's saying that's dumb as fuck. You're just going to grill up some dogs, and the smoke goes everywhere. It doesn't go directly up. It'll just travel around, and it'll dissipate. It won't be a problem. It's just some fucking... It's not like we're making a fucking fire pit here. We're just grilling up some dogs and burgers. So I guess my question is, who's in the right here? I'm of the opinion that Shake, on one hand, is being quite courteous and thoughtful. This is true. We have to give him credit. He's being quite courteous and thoughtful. He's also being a bit of a pussy. Because you just get a fan and it's not a problem anymore. You just get a fan and it literally would be such a small, you're not grilling that much. There's 2 people. At most, you're grilling like 4 hamburgers. And a couple, it's like a very short amount of grilling time here. You're not exactly opening up a 4th of July fucking burger stand. You just open the fucking, turn on a fan next to it, it'll fucking dissipate instantly. It won't even be a problem. They won't even know. Do you know what carbon monoxide is? Oh, you're probably a Yingling fan. Again, a balcony is outside. It's not in, it's out. Fuck, how do I explain what outside is? You know, like when you're not in house, there's also people to the left and right of me. Well, smoke travels up, so they're entirely irrelevant. And I don't think the fan is so powerful. It's not like you're getting a fucking industrial fan. It's not blowing directly right, like, it's just going to spread it around out more. You literally can't grill on a balcony. It's so fun when you set limits for yourself. You can't grill on a balcony, okay? You don't know how high I can fly. I would say, if you're being courteous, you would ask the upstairs neighbors, and then you could rip it. You would just tell them the time that you're going to grill, and then you grill. But I also think you don't even need to ask. I think you could just rip it. Is it a charcoal or a gas grill? I think there's almost no universe. It's a charcoal grill, but I don't know. Now, okay, in Shake's defense, do they have a public grill area? The answer is yes. They do have a public grill area. So you could just go to the public grill area. It doesn't make Yingling's argument very strong. Look, Yingling is here, and he is saying, and I'm quoting him directly, you guys have never had fun in your life? Jesus. So, you know, he kind of has a point there. Now, I saw this on my subreddit. I didn't know what this meant. I'm hoping one of you guys can help me out. It says, the viewership peak looks like Saddam Hussein. What do... Like, we're saying... Oh. Not tapped in. Is this a hot meme right now? Do the Zoomers know about Saddam Hussein? Do Zoomers even know about the Islamic Revolution? This is my favorite post on the subreddit of the past month. The last 4 years, not counting art. Please donate your brain to science someday. We've been clowning on him, but holy shit, his Japanese is actually impressive. Upvote, it's true. Watashi wa Nihongo pera pera. Hassan asked Elon Musk's daughter if she knows who Ludwig is.
You want me to ask you who your main is?
I mean Robin.
You main
And
who?
Wendy. I mean Robin.
I don't even know what that
He
is.
can't-
People are saying
okay, I
Omega
like him.
based. Do you know
I like him
Ludwig?
because- Ludwig?
Yeah.
I mean Wendy. I side main Wendy. Ludwig is one of the Bowser Jr. alts. I
No,
play
no,
Wendy
no.
because-
No, the content creator Ludwig. He
Oh.
he plays Smash. L for Ludwig, not for you.
Oh, Ludwig, I know who he is. Yes.
You know Ludwig? Yeah, he sucks.
She
Don't
dropped
worry about
last
it.
name, bro.
You know Ludwig? Yeah, he sucks. You
Oh, Ludwig, I know who he is.
She dropped last name. Okay, the question was formatted wrong. All right. Shocker. Hassan never went to journalism school, wouldn't know how to do a damn interview if it hit him across fucking skull head. You know, when she says, I main Wendy, and then he goes, do you know Ludwig? Of course she's going to think Ludwig, the alt of Bowser Jr., who Ludwig is also an alt of Bowser Jr., the character. Of course. It's a bad question at that moment. He don't even know about Bowser Jr. But he has no fucking clue about he couldn't tell you about Lenny. What does bro know about Roy? He knows shit about Roy. Found a clear picture of the street painting of Michael and Lud posted by the artist Hajime Ikoma. It's now right there. It's the same picture. Tip to tip art by Meringue. Wait, this art's great. Wait, this art's phenomenal. Have I seen this? This art rules. Ganbate. Good luck. That's what that means, by the way. Retweet it, pussy. That's not really how Twitter works anymore. Replying is effectively retweeting. Usually interactions are more powerful than retweets. Boomer. Fucking boomer. What method did you learn to use? What method did you use to learn Japanese? Honestly, just intuiting, dreaming in Japanese. I watched 13 episodes of anime. ChatGPT. That's all you need. Ludwig is cooked. So I watched episode 2 today. Oh, this is you guys making fun of me for thinking Miyazaki was an island. That's you guys being upset about me being late. I always think of this when I see Lud in his helmet. I never saw dog mouth before, but I do see it. I do see dog mouth. The red button is just to flip up the helmet. The showy fucking helmet rules. This helmet's awesome though. I love this helmet. White guy speaks fluent ancient Japanese samurai. Love this series. Use my contribution to Ludwig's perfect Japanese. I thank thee for thy assistance. Yeah, that's beast mode. That's fucking cool as fucking shit, dude. Tagging everything to 40 months. Appreciate that. That was cool as shit. Wait, we got a hype train going on? Stop! Guys, stop. Everybody stop. Hold up. It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. You know what I'm about to do. You guys haven't already checked? We have 9,000 people on Twitch, 8,000 people on YouTube. That's 17,000 people all together. Half of which are primed, which means half still have one floating around. Do me a favor. Double check to see if you still got one. Okay? All you have to do is click the subscribe button, see if it has a little checkbox. Click the checkbox, click subscribe free. It's a 3-step process. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay? I'm broke. It's free with Amazon Prime. Not only is it free, you lose money if you don't do it. You friggin' idiot. Sorry. Here's the thing, chat. You don't understand. I don't even care if you don't use it on me. Use it on Connor. Use it on Cutie. Use it on Zane. Use it on freaking Valkyrie. I don't mind. Use it on Mango. Use it on anyone you want. Just use it. Because it doesn't roll over. And the way this economy's going, I'm not even being freaking dramatic. They might even get rid of primes, bro. They might even get rid of that shit. So you might as well use it while you got it. Now let's see if anyone's used it. Thank you very much. Automatic Mike Squared, Heaven Sword, Dr. Hospital, 28 months. Bellasaurus, Ham, Rages, Dova, Vixena, Sweet Kitty Killer, Snoop, 25 gifted from Harlick. What the fuck? That's a lot of money. Harlick, that's a phenomenal amount of... You have one message ever, and it was giving me 300 bits 4 years ago during the subathon. You gave me 300 bits 4 years ago during the subathon, and now you're back giving me 20... What the fuck? Anata no tasuki ni only kiru. Thank you for the subs, boys! Thank you, Potato Chip, Mason, Chow Mains, DC Spider, Systematic, Lady Leah, Zevron, Eclipso, excuse me, Mr. Towers with the 2 years, Rocky with a dot, Ragtags with a gifted launch pad. Thank you very much, probably Canadian, Bongarono. I want to say... I'm cool with Canadians now. Me and Canadians are chill. Thank you, Hesitate for the 16 months, Distroma for the 20 months, Peel Banana for the 6 months, NT Artistic for the 5 gifted subs, Tay with the 300 bits, Roboto with a gift. Chat, thank you for the subs. I appreciate it. Pope John Paul III, thank you for 5 gifted. Why are you cool with him now? It's kind of like when you're in a conversation with Slime, and let's say you both don't care for people who drink cold brew, and you're a big fan of iced lattes, but you think cold brew is too bitter and too lazy of a drink to buy at a coffee shop because ultimately it's just something sitting in a fridge overnight and it tastes bitter and it's not worth like $4 or $5 or whatever to afford. If you were talking with Slime about that, stick with me for a moment, you would say all the points that I'm making right here. You might go, it's bitter, it's not worth the cost based off the amount of effort it takes to make it. You can just do it at home and it's going to taste as good if not better, whatever. Slime would say, I think people who drink cold brews are pedophiles. They're pedophiles who like drink, they like drinking and stuff that's been sitting in a fridge overnight because they want your head in a fridge. They want your head sitting in a fridge because they're freak pedophiles and they want things to sit in the fridge all the time. And then you, the person who doesn't like cold brew, might think to yourself, well, I don't really like to align myself with this guy anymore. Because I was just bringing up some points about why I don't like cold brews. You know, it's more so in good fun. He's taking this really far. That's how I feel about Canada right now, but switch out Slime for Donald Trump. Because I like ragging on Canada, but then when Donald Trump's like, and they should fucking be a fucking state, and they shouldn't even be their own sovereign country. And they should all fucking die and use the American dollar. I don't feel comfortable being like, yeah, you guys suck. So I basically need bro to get out of the office to then start hating on you guys. Until they do, I'm in a peace treaty phase. Rag Attack, thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate it. Nard Dog, thank you for the 10 months. Rasta Bonk, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the subs, boys. Thank you very much. Thank you, NT Artistic again. All right, back to it. Riders Cafe, Caraway, we talked about them. Change my mind. Shit was peak. Every video's in S tier. I don't think every video's in S tier. I would say the Kyushu arc was S tier. I think the Hokkaido arc is S tier. I think episode 7 might be the best episode. I would say some of the middle episodes are a lot more riding. A lot less is going on. Osaka's a filler episode. You know. But it was fun. Tip to Tip Australia. I think part of the joy of Tip to Tip is not understanding the language and communicating with people. I think Australia, not only do we speak English, all of this land is like uninhabited. So, it's, you know what I mean? It's just going to be a fucking highway the whole way down. You know, it's like not even fucking, you're in the middle of goddamn nowhere. Oh, they said Austria.
Gang, 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 gang.
Last day, Lud really should have had this on his bike. Guys, you know my position on Crocs now. You know my position on freaking Crocs now, man. We're no longer best buds. We're no longer best freaking pals forever. We are beefing. We are beefing right now. I'm still going to keep my Tomater Crocs because they're cool, but... Chudwig Ludjack. Why'd you give me fucking glasses? There's an IMDb page? Tip to Tip. 14 episodes. They're rated? What's the highest rated episode? Man, people hated the Osaka episode. Episode 3 has high ratings. Episode 13 is a banger. Episode 3 and 13 are the highest rated. I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. I think episode 3 and 13 are good. I would say episode 7 should be rated slightly higher. Man, people hated the Osaka episode. I get it. We did lose the bikes. We were stuck in a 4 square mile area for fucking... Not even a 1 square mile area for hours. Refresh. Oh, you were hoping it would, like, update all your ratings? If you guys are rating it live, it doesn't do it immediately, I guess. Any reviews? I don't think so. Now, if we ever play IMDb Wiki Race, we can go through Ludwig. Known for Juiced, QDC's Murder Mystery, Soda Poppin' Memes, Shit Camp, what the fuck? Minecraft Championships, Meat Canyon, Bella Porch Music Video, Who Will Replace Me, The Germa 985 Dollhouse, Shitcon, Hive Mind. Is it really just whoever wants to fucking go through the effort just makes it? Like, it doesn't, you don't have to get it approved? Ludwig Ogren was born on July 6, 1995 in New Hampshire. He is an actor and cinematographer. Seems a little bit of a lie there. He's known for Soda Poppin' Memes. There we go. No way they trying to bully my man Cam. Can't help but feel these videos would be done faster if Cam simply learned Japanese. What is he, stupid? I'm just a silly baka man. Hey, man, don't let Ludwig catching you use Twitter right now. You know how he gets. He already took away my dinner privileges tonight. He said he's going to take away my cigarettes next. Is there a reason you aren't editing and on Twitter? I would hate to show dubbing. I'll throw my computer out the window right now. Hold the footage hostage and demand a raise. Okay, Tim, what is up with you in trying to flip power dynamics? Tim, you are the equivalent of like you're inside. You're basically a prison guard telling the prisoners to riot. Like, brother, who do you think is paying your wages? And the prisoners riot, you're the first one cut. First guy on the chopping block. Without prisoners, there's no prison. We need to unionize. Again, we don't like that word around here, Tim. We don't like that word, unionize. Tim is my savior. Alex, I know you're not saying that in YouTube chat because Tim thinks of you as fucking vile scum. He spits on your names. I said I was bringing back YouTube chat, and he sent me a video of him throwing up. Okay? And I said, Tim, that's a little bit far. I think they have the right to speak. I think they're good people.
I missed my 2-year BQAs. How long you were gone?
Captain Chips, thank you for the 2 years. Appreciate you. Gawr Gura graduated!
I love being an idol management. First of all, I'm really sorry for worrying you or upsetting you with this announcement. This has been a very long time coming, but today I am here to announce that I will be graduating from HoloLive on May 1st, 2025, JST.
Don't really care, then you're the dumbest motherfucker in either chat. Like, what are you talking about? Gawr Gura is one of the biggest fucking VTubers in the world. Bro, she was at Dodgers Stadium. She was at the Dodgers fucking stadium, bro. She won the Dodgers a fucking baseball game. I don't know about Japanese speaking, but as far as like English speaking VTubers, she's top dog. She's the fucking LeBron of that shit right now.
My reasons being disagreements with management and company direction. I debuted in September of 2020 with 4 other incredibly talented girls who I respect and admire. I had barely any streaming or singing and dancing experience before joining this company. It was incredibly exciting, but also very intense and unexpected to be suddenly surrounded by so many eyes and expectations. I remember there being many days where the stress was so overwhelming that I couldn't eat or keep food down. But the continuous support and patience of my wonderful community helped to lessen that feeling and pushed me to go on to do things that I didn't even know I was capable of.
Dude, they cut LeBron in his prime. That's the equivalent. They're cutting LeBron from the NBA in his prime. And he's going to play overseas basketball now.
I am so lucky and so
Isn't it more like LeBron quitting? No, because almost assuredly she's going to come back as an indie VTuber. But she won't be able to use any of the assets that people know her for. She can't, I doubt she can be Shark Girl. So she'll have to be like someone else that secretly everyone will know. And I'm assuming she was kind of forced out from these disagreements, it sounds like. You know, they came at an impasse, and so they weren't able to go forward. It's actually kind of crazy. The VTuber industry is fucking weird, okay? And when people say it's weird, they always get, like, kind of bullied for saying it's weird. But it is fucking weird. It's a very, like, a lot of the rules and regulations come, you know, from, like, idol culture, which is a very foreign concept for most, like, Westerners and Americans. Like, it doesn't exist out here, right? A lot of the practices people would think are outdated or weird or outright unethical. Okay? I think this fuck is crazy. We deadass being invested in VTuber shit now? Bro, you don't understand. Like, this is the LeBron of VTubing in America. Okay, this shit is big. Look at this. This was out of the blue announcement. 96,000 likes 23 minutes ago. How many likes does my video have right now? How many likes does my fucking YouTube stream have? I've been live for 2 hours. You're being so misled. She just wanted out. Yeah, I mean, but I assume she wanted, like, okay, I'm sorry. Do you think she just wanted out to go indie to make more money? Like, I'm assuming they didn't give her something. She had 250,000 people watching live. She had as many viewers as chess boxing. I doubt what happened is Hololive said, hello, Gawr Gura. You are our best VTubing asset in America. We want to keep you. We are signing you on to our Mega Max contract. Will you do it? And then she said, nope, I want to go indie so I can make all the money instead of having to give any of it to you. And I will ditch the fucking character that everyone knows me for forever. I don't think that's what happened. I don't think that's what fucking happened.
Thankful for each and every one of you.
People unironically think that is crazy. I think if someone were to look, here's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming the contract was ending. If she started in September, she probably had like annual contracts and then maybe extended to like a 6-month contract, an 18-month contract, or a 6-month contract because September is like the 9th month, right? Or no, I guess maybe that would make sense. But whatever. I'm assuming she had some fucking contract. It was ending. It was ending. And then the renewal agreement was probably fucked. So it just made no sense to take. And I don't know if it's a financial thing or some other stipulations or what. But I've heard the contracts are fucked.
To the opportunities given to me, and for the almost 5 years we've been able to spend together. I love singing for you and performing for you on stage or in my bedroom. You helped pull me out of my shell, and I went off from being too scared to sing alone in my shower to singing live in front of hundreds and thousands of people. When I think about how many of you I've been able to...
I didn't mean to laugh at what the words she was saying were. I just imagined that and then someone saying block by James and then it becoming a LeBron James fan cam.
Connect with. It brings me so much joy. It's been an honor and a dream come true to be your shark, your Goopa. With you.
As a 30-year-old man, yes, it was also hard for me to listen to the phrase Goopa because I don't know what that means, and that made me feel weird. Yes, you are not alone in this.
I've been able to achieve what I thought for a very long time would be impossible for a girl like me. To feel a part of something and to belong. I love being an idol and VTubing and watching all of my senpai, kawaii, and the entire VTubing community grow into this amazing, colorful, and successful world.
VTubers are cool because they are so intertwined with Japanese and English culture that they start unironically speaking how I ironically speak. we speak the same. We've just gotten to the end game so different.
I love the banter we've shared over the years. I love your clips and compilations, your cosplays, fan art, every single bit of it. I am so lucky to have been loved in such a way. Those of you that sat and fretted over what to write, that poured your hearts out to me in ink, please know that I have all of your letters, and I will seal them and keep them forever until the archaeologists dig them up in 300 years and try and decipher what a Gawr Gura was. Thank you for your compassion, your creativity, and your dedication to me. Thank you.
I'm 33. I can't be watching this. Okay, when your fucking Oshi retires or graduates, you're going to be causing a stink. Okay? So let me cause a stink right freaking now. Okay? Wakarimasu ka?
Waiting for me. Thank you for waiting for me to return when the outside world became too much. Let's have as much fun as we can together during these last 2 weeks. Please share your kindness and patience with everyone. And while my time here may be coming to an end, I will cherish the memories that we've made together forever.
Someone really got to check on Saikuno. That boy might kill himself tonight. You guys don't get it. He needs to be on a police watch 24/7 until May fucking 2nd. This is his favorite VTuber, bar none. And he's deep in the VTuber sauce. This is like 9/11 for people without jobs. No, that's when they gave a fucking beer can to one trans person. that was the 9/11 for people without jobs.
I have one final project to share with you, and I can't wait for you to see it. I'm feeling really optimistic for the future, and I hope you are too. Thank you, everyone, for letting me be your little shark.
Damn. A quarter million people tune in live to a PNG talking for 8 minutes. That's crazy. That is the power of YouTube live streaming, I will say. That is absolutely impossible to do on Twitch. You need a 45-minute intro screen that says retiring with a fucking GIF to get a fraction of that. 8 minutes is crazy. Don't call them PNGs, bro. Bro, it's just a PNG on the screen. Okay? This is not a fucking model. Don't come at me. I am a VTuber myself. Okay? This shit is straight up a PNG. It's a JPEG. Whatever, bro. We don't know. Is there any intel at all? I guess, of course not. It got announced 31 minutes ago. Hold up. Let's check Twitter. Gawr Gura. Jeez, Lewis. Announcement regarding Gawr Gura's graduation. We regret to announce that Gawr Gura of Hololive English will be graduating May 1st, 2025. Since her debut as a member of Hololive English Myth 5 years ago, she has touched the hearts of many fans around the world, becoming a loving fan of VTuber. To all the fans who have support, thank you. We want to send them a decision as she begins the next chapter. So it definitely sounds like she's going indie. Though, okay, someone help me. The way it works, if I understand it, is you're not allowed to say that you used to be Gawr Gura, right? I'm scared to scroll. Oh, fuck. Okay, good. Good job. I didn't scroll. Wait, why? Because obviously the human who operates the VTuber and the technology and
You're my mans.
voices it and has that same humor,
Ludwig hypers.
you know, emotional attachment that people have to that person. She owns that. That's herself. But she doesn't own her VTuber model. HoloLive owns the VTuber model. I think like every single IP aspect of it. Look up Senzawa. Why?
Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Yeah, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer.
Wait, is she the original OK Boomer that fucking what's her name danced to in the Bernie Sanders shirt? Dude, the amount of culture she's influenced. Isn't that insane? That's some crazy internet culture influence. Look at her most viewed video.
Okay, I know this is a really bad idea, but I'm already here, so
She did this?
here we fucking go. Rawr. Extra noses pounces on you. Ooh, you're so warm.
Oh my god, she might be the GOAT. We really are witnessing the LeBron James of this shit being kicked to the fucking G League.
Couldn't help but notice your boats from across the floor. Noses your Nicky Wicky till day or till day hee hee. Unzips your baggiest pants, oh baby, you so musky. Take me home, pet me, and make me yours, and don't forget to stuff me.
I've never listened to this song while reading the words. It is so much worse. Because if you don't know the words, it's not that bad. But like, I can smell your musky? Like, what? Yuck. It's so crass.
See me like my widow, baby, tail for your bulgy bulgy.
Yeah, okay, I'm good. Okay. Nah, that was definitely LeBron on the Heat, you know? That's when he was the least liked. Influential for sure, but just, you know, not the best phase. Still got a ring. And you have to give it, still got a ring. But he didn't say he went for one ring, you know, so.
Evan, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River.
Damn, that's crazy. Surely it'll be a new character, right? Whoa. Wait. And she tweeted on Senzawa. She tweeted blue fish emoji. Shit, fuck. That's freaking crazy, man. But she won't own the Gawr Gura account, right? Or does she own the account? Hold on, let's check the following. Okay, never mind. I thought the most recent following would be a clue, if you will. Damn. That's kind of crazy. Fuck, this fucking sucks for the Dodgers. That's the real issue. Maury follows you? Maury Calliope. Maury Calliope. Well, yeah, I'm a freaking VTuber phenomenon. You know, I'm glad I get a little freaking respect around here. I'm glad to be getting a little freaking respect around these parts. Wait, isn't Maury... Okay, I don't want to come across like I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to hold my thought for a moment. But is she who I'm thinking of? She's been on Trash Chase. So is Hassan, and I stopped watching for both of those reasons. But that's not what I'm talking about. Okay? Some shit happened. No. Is Maury... Okay, I don't want to fucking be wrong. I don't want to be wrong because then it's going to be live and it's going to be embarrassing. Is Maury the one who's good at Jump King? I said it! Fine, I said it! Yes! I didn't fucking get it wrong. Okay. Then I know about Maury because I saw Maury do a Jump King contest with Connor on Twitch Rivals. Maury, is it Calliope or Calliope? Does anyone know? Maury Calliope. It's neither. They're both wrong. It's Calliope. Nah, that's wrong. Calliope? This is pronounced Calliope. For sure not. That's a normal ass name. I know, but that's not how you pronounce that. It's definitely, if I had to guess, as an English major, this is pronounced Calliope. Calliope.
We are looking at how to pronounce in English the name of the muse who presides over eloquence and epic poetry. How do you go about pronouncing her name? Calliope.
He's French. Can you really trust him? He thinks the age of consent should be fucking 9, bro. He's French. Are we really trusting this freaking guy? Really? This is our guy? He's fucking French, bro. What are we doing here? Let's try someone else. Let's try someone else real quick.
Chickens squawked. There was the strange rickety calliope of the organ grinder. Great upheavals of dust swirled around.
We have an interspecific geranium. It's called Calliope Scarlet Fire, and that's these.
Maury Calliope. It is a pleasure to follow you, Maury Calliope. When I saw the white flowered American guy who looked like me, I knew I had no outs. Me and him are too similar for me to start picking fights here. I was wrong. She sings in a One Piece outro. Like, wait, like dead ass in the one used in the show on God for real? That's so fucking cool. What the hell? Why am I not doing that? This is my audition for One Piece outro. You are my friend. Whoa. You are my friend. Whoa. I don't know the rest of the words. Please consider me. That's Naruto? Yeah, but their outros are better. And their intros are better. Can we be fucking honest for once? Naruto intros and outros are way better. Okay, I tweeted out. I don't know how well this tweet will be received. Gawr Gura fucking retired. What's the fucking point? Fucking Donald Trump. I don't know if that'll be well received, but it's how I feel in this moment. And if Twitter's not for capturing what I feel in a moment, then I don't know the fuck it's for anymore. I don't know what we're fucking doing here. Okay, but all I know is Trump gets in the fucking White House. 30% of everything I've invested just goes disappear. I get 15% back. People tell me to be happy about that. I'm not. And then fucking Gawr Gura retires. So, like, what the fuck is going on? If I can't take a stand here, then where can I? You haven't lived like a normal person for 15 years? You are right. It was that switch from 13 to 14. 13, I was in touch. 14 is when I shifted. It's because I had a big growth spurt. I was 6'3" when I was 14. Why aren't you with PewDiePie, Chris, and Connor? Because I just came back from a 2-week trip in Japan, and I enjoy having a girlfriend. I enjoy my girlfriend and her presence, and I think it would all go away forever if I was in Japan for another week. You have a boyfriend too? And we spent one magical night together that I'll never forget. We did spend a magical night together, it's true. He also hates charity. True. Retweet. All right, chat. Should we take a look at the new summoning salt video? Y'all down to watch some Summoning Salt? All right. We're going to watch a new Summoning Salt video. I have to get water and pee. And then we're going to watch. You guys all have about 90 seconds. Oh, God, I got to pee so bad. Okay, hello. Hello. Okay, guys. Hello. It's been a long time since we watched a Summoning Salt video on stream because, well, frankly, they got so detailed that I found myself watching them like this and having almost nothing to offer. Now, having said that, this one I know a little thing about because I'm quite an avid Super Mario 64 speedrunning fan. Now, I don't know everything about the history of Super Mario 64 speedrunning, of course, but I remember the Siglimic, the other runners days, which we'll hopefully relive here.
August 4th, 2012. Streaming live on a young website called twitch.tv, a player is trying to beat perhaps the most famous world record in all of video gaming, the Super Mario 64 120 star world record. It's a competition of how quickly you can collect every star in the most popular 3D platformer of all time. It's part of a relatively new hobby called speedrunning. 120 star is a prestigious enough record that it's rarely broken at this point. But on this day, one man is determined to do it. His name is Siglimic.
Yup!
Siglimic has been going at this for a while. Even today, he's already been streaming for several hours. He makes dozens of attempts at the record, each one dying to mistakes or just being too slow. But eventually, he's able to get a fast start.
Oh, he meant today then, right? I don't think Siglimic has streamed in a while, right? Or does Super Mario 64? I don't think Siglimic's still playing, right? Last time I checked in with Siglimic, he was getting fucking incredibly good at typing. I forget what you call that. Stenography, yeah. He was grinding stenography. I used to watch his streams. He got really fast at typing. I remember when his stenography speed passed his words per minute on a QWERTY keyboard speed. Twitch was young in 2012. Twitch was a year old. I think Twitch started getting called... Wait. I think Twitch started being Twitch in 2011. And then it was acquired by Amazon in 2013, I think.
Siglimic collects star after
So this is before it was acquired by
Twitch or
Amazon.
Incredible movement and other techniques. Thousands of live stream viewers watch in awe as he makes it past 30 stars, then 50, then 70. He's pulling far ahead. This is on pace for a new world record. The impressive gameplay continues. Excitement is building. He's doing things that most viewers can't even fathom. And then, minutes away from a new world record, he arrives at one of the last stars, the Rainbow Ride 100 coin star. This one is super easy. All you have to do is stand still on a magic carpet and collect a few coins. Siglimic does that, and the 117th star appears. All he has to do now is jump up and collect it.
Okay, he said it's super easy, but sometimes I hit the fire and then it's hard to stay on, and this star is deceptively tough to get.
This is the worst way to lose a record. An hour and 41 minutes of beautiful gameplay, and it had all been for nothing. Siglimic could do some things in Mario 64 that nobody else could. Yet, right here, he could have handed the controller off to anyone, and they would have collected the star. After finishing the run, Siglimic talked to his stream about what happened.
Like, I couldn't even believe it. Like, I paused and I was just like looking at it. I just like felt nothing. I don't even know like how long it would take me to get a run like this. Again, it'll probably take a while. I can't believe I threw that kind of run away.
In this moment, Siglimic felt tiny. His best ever chance at the record thrown in the garbage.
That's a generational choke. That truly is a career-defining choke. Which sometimes happens. People don't talk about career-defining chokes. You would know? I know. I do know.
Sometimes attempts at greatness end in tragedy.
They still called it squeaksing it back then, by the way. People don't know that. It's true. That was still considered squeaksing it.
It's a necessary evil, because if there's never any tragedy, then greatness would feel insignificant.
Oh my god, dude! I'm a legend!
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude! No way!
Alex64, Frosty Zacco, Gothic Logic, Punke, Siglemic, Liam, Cheese. Liam! Cheese, Suigi, Ouija, Simply. Okay, I know basically everyone Punke and below, but I actually don't know Alex, Frosty, and Gothic Logic. Are they also, I'm assuming they're runners?
And now, a word from this video's sponsor, Factor. Factor lets you pick from a variety of meals and have them delivered to your door. Just pop it in the microwave and eat it. Factor is a great product if you have a type of diet in mind. If you're on a keto diet, they have higher fat options that are low carb. If you're on a low calorie diet,
it's not child slaves, the children are paid.
They have lower calorie options. Different diets are recommended for different lifestyles, so you should be mindful of how much of each macro you eat in each meal. Luckily,
and they might
Factor's
yearn for
transparent
it.
about the nutritional value of each meal on their website and on the back of each package. Check the daily recommended values to make a plan that's right for you. Factor also has a variety of smoothies, protein shakes, and other drinks you can order. Once again, you can tailor these to the type of diet you wish to follow. High protein options, higher fat keto options, or fruit smoothie options. Just check the nutrition facts right on their website.
Is Factor bad? I mean, actually being unbiased for a moment, because I'm no longer sponsored by them. The Factor meals themselves are a good way to get a quick meal with like decent macros, and you can also pick, and some are good. I think the chicken gets a bit nauseating if you eat it too often. So like the chicken's good, but you can't spam it. And then they had a big stink because the stink might be an understatement. Huge drama. They were caught at their Michigan factory using child labor to package their meals, and have since sworn that they've resolved it. They've sworn that they resolved it, but that was what happened.
To try
in Michigan, yeah, I think so.
Factor,
I think it's Michigan. Don't quote me on that.
Factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50summoningsalt to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50summoningsalt at Factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video.
It was Chicago. My bad. Illinois.
Let's start with an overview of the speedrun. Super Mario 64 has a total of 120 stars for you to collect. You only need to collect 70 of them to beat the game,
I knew that.
but a full 100% completion involves collecting
120.
all 120
Sorry, I knew that.
stars. How do you collect them? Well, the game has 15 levels, and each level contains 7 stars. That accounts for 105 stars, and the remaining 15 come from various locations.
I didn't know this. I thought some levels had more stars than others.
Scattered throughout the castle, substages like Peach's Slide, and the Bowser levels. Most of the game's stars involve defeating bosses or completing objectives.
I genuinely thought some levels had more stars than others. I thought like Jolly Roger's Bay had less, I guess. Oh, that's interesting.
Each level also has a star you earn from collecting 100 coins, known as the 100 coin star. Once you collect enough stars, you can fight Bowser to earn keys.
Fan, by the way, I've done 120 star more than most of you guys. I just didn't think about how it's broken up.
These keys unlock new sections of the castle. There are 3 main areas. You start in the lobby with its 4 levels, then unlock the basement and its 5 levels, and later unlock upstairs and its 6 levels. Importantly, within each section of the castle, there's a lot of flexibility in the order you can play the levels.
See, like, clearly these are choices made by a game designer, which is like, we'll increase the amount of levels and we'll make this amount of stars consistent. I've just never thought of it as a gamer. So I guess that's good game design.
While 120 star is at the forefront of speedrunning today, it certainly didn't start that way. Let's go back to the very beginning. The first sign of 120 star speedrun activity comes from the year 2004 on the speedrunning hub Speed Demos Archive. Keep in mind, Super Mario 64 was just 8 years old at this point. Various people created forum threads asking what a 120 star speedrun would look like, hoping somebody would be willing to try it. 2 speedrunners took up the task, Spider-Man 88mil and Jason.
You think he's born in 88 or a Nazi? It's always tough. It's always tough.
Their runs were unrecorded, but they posted updates in forum threads, trading the record back and forth throughout 2004. Finally, in December, Spider-Man 88mil got a record he was happy with. 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 49 seconds. He recorded it on VHS.
You can't say Nazi for sure, because I actually had a friend growing up, and his favorite number, unironically, was 88. And I'm talking like 8 years old. That's what he picked as his soccer number. Like 7, 6 years old. That was his soccer number. Where is he now? He works for me in LA. Had a huge Nazi phase. But that's not the point. When he picked it, he wasn't. And he's over it now.
And across the next 21 years, that footage survived. Let's take a look at the earliest recorded 120 stars speedrun.
It exists?
The first thing to notice is the movement. Spider-Man 88mil did a lot of long jumps, performed by pressing Z and then jumping. This is one of the fastest ways of moving through the game, faster than just running. Then there's the routing. The order of collecting all 120 stars is important. You don't want to waste time backtracking, for instance. There's a couple basic rules he followed. He always collected all 7 of a level's stars before heading to the next level, and he generally completed all levels in an area before moving on. These rules helped ensure he made it through as fast as possible. Now, as for the gameplay itself, parts of it were pretty impressive for such an early run. For instance, to save time on the Lil Penguin Lost Star, he jumped over the edge and landed right where he needed to be, rather than sliding down the slopes.
Smart.
In Womp's Fortress, instead of using the cannon, he cleverly used a side flip to reach the chute into the Wild Blue Star.
Oh, well, no. Okay, that's a stretch. It's called Wild Blue. Isn't it called Wall Kicks Will Work? No, that's the other one, right? That's the one at Cool Cool Mountain. I've never even thought the cannon... This is Wild Blue. I never even thought the cannon would be used here. Is that what the cannon's for, actually? No, the cannon's for other shit. The cannon is for breaking the fucking wall.
Strategies like these were used throughout the 3-hour run, saving him small amounts of time over a casual playthrough. But certain sections made it quite clear that this was an early speedrun. He died 4 times and played very slowly in other parts, not at all like a modern run. Perhaps the most infamous moment came in Shifting Sandland, when he just couldn't quite reach the star in the pyramid. It's silly.
Dude, it's like looking at footage of the best basketball player in 1952. And they're just granny shot shooting, getting fucking swatted left and right. There it is, Jack McLean, the #1 basketball player in the country. He shoots 1 for 10 from the field and can lay it up with both his left and right hand. And they're just the best in the fucking world. God, it'd be so sick to have been alive back then.
To think of such moments being in a world record today, but in 2004, things were bound to happen across a 3-hour speedrun. Spider-Man 88mil received lots of praise for his record. Most had never seen a run of the game like this before, and although they could see its imperfections, they were impressed to see such a high level of gameplay mostly sustained across 3 hours. Interestingly, Jason realized after watching the run that he'd sort of already beaten it. He'd played on the PAL version of the game, which runs at 5/6 the speed of the NTSC version that Spider-Man 88mm played on. So, Jason's 316 would have been timed as a 244 on NTSC. But since it was both unrecorded and played on PAL, it didn't count, and Spider-Man 88mm had the official world record.
Yeah, well, for sure doesn't count. If it's not film, fucking stop talking in my goddamn Speed Demos archive chat.
After 2004, we enter a strange period of 120 Stars history. Much of this era has been lost to time, but here's what we do know. Throughout 2005 and 2006, a number of new 120 Star speedruns were submitted to Speed Demos archive, and every single one was rejected by the site admins. Why? Well, speedrun verification on Speed Demos archive worked differently back then. They only wanted high-quality speedruns on their website, both in video quality and quality of gameplay. So even if someone submitted a run that was fast enough for a new record, admins could reject it if they felt you could do better. And that happened repeatedly with 120 Star.
What the fuck does that even
runs
mean?
were submitted to SDA that beat Spider-Man 88mm. But since the site admins already had a 120 Star run, and they weren't overly impressed by the new runs, they rejected them. A baffling concept today, but it was the norm back then.
That is baffling!
It's unknown how many times this occurred, but we know it happened twice to a player known as Amoeba2. In May 2005, he submitted a 254, and in February 2006...
They kind of operate how Guinness operates. Like, you can break a record that's from Guinness, but if it's not, like, fucking a record people care about or compellingly enough, beaten compellingly enough, like, I don't even give a shit. Unless we're giving them that sweet cash. Thank you very much for the 2 years, Dreamer.
He submitted a 247.
You have to pay for it. You can pay for the Guinness records. Like, a lot of them are pay to win, but some, they are legit. Like, the world's tallest man one is not pay to win, per se. Like, they want the world's tallest man in their record book.
Both were rejected from SDA. There are also rumors that a player named Ikanaki got a time of 242, but without video proof. Fortunately, this period in history wouldn't last long, because then in 2006, a new player appeared on the forums, intrigued about the possibility of completing a 120 Star run. His name was Dragorn.
That's a fire name.
Dragorn had a different approach. He didn't want to just beat the run on the site, a 258.49. He wanted to demolish it, leaving no chance for his run to be rejected. His goal was to take more than 40 minutes off the record and get a sub 215. Dragorn himself wasn't sure if this was possible, but he got community members excited. Many of them tried to help out, even if their computers limited them.
I cannot look at your Excel document. I'm running Windows 98 SE. I watched the initial commercial for Microsoft Excel when it came out. It's a fire commercial. It's these two guys going up an elevator, and one of them was like, "Where's the fucking Lebowski report?" And the guy's like, "Relax, man. I'll get the report." And he does it while on the elevator. And he's like, "But it doesn't look right." And then he's like, "Don't worry, I'll bold it." And he's like, "But it's not in the right format." And then he does it all in the elevator ride up. And then everyone in the elevator soy jacked at the really cool Excel. And I realized Excel is one of the better technologies or softwares ever created. That shit has made the world go round in many ways. Is it bold to say Excel is a more valuable piece of software than any video game ever made?
Members from all over the site, who played all different games, eagerly awaited Dragorn's run. Even Spider-Man 88mm joined the thread, saying that he felt sub 230 was possible, but not sub 215.
Quigley! Thank you, the 50 gifted. Quigley, thank you very much.
Over the next few months, Dragorn posted his progress learning the speedrun. He borrowed many strategies from the existing 70-star record and looked at coin routes from Curtis Bright's Mario 64 website.
Smart.
Finally, after months of practice, Dragorn posted that he'd completed a run. 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Pretty good.
The community was amazed that he'd taken half an hour off the record like it was nothing. But there was no video posted. It was hard to upload long videos in 2006, and Dragorn felt he could still lower the time a bit more. So, rather than...
I guess that's a good point I didn't consider. It is hard to upload video in 2006. This is like literally the year YouTube was invented.
And mail in this VHS tape to SDA, he'd wait for the best run he could get. Dragorn kept improving, and his updates in the forum thread continued. A week later, he posted a 2:18:07. People started trash-talking the 258 run currently on the site, knowing that Dragorn had crushed it. A few weeks later, another update. He was now in the 2:16 range. Finally, in early September, Dragorn posted his newest time, 2:14:32, with 0 deaths.
That's impressive.
This accomplished his sub 2:15 goal, but he was still unsatisfied.
I've never beaten Mario that fast, and this guy did it in 2004. That is impressive. I'll give him that. It impresses me. Oh my God, Valky Raid. Hello, what is up, Valky Raid enjoyers?
I'm here for the bukkake.
That is an inappropriate clip I recognize on hindsight, but also the noise that plays when I get raided. If you don't know what a bukkake is, take some time on your own. Don't do it right now to look it up. Welcome, guys. I heard you guys watched Tip to Tip. I heard you watched me and Michael go tip to tip, me and my lover. Me and my sweet lover. My sweet lover. We literally watched your tip. Thank you for doing that. I hope you liked my tip. I am watching a video myself. I'm watching the history of Mario 64 120 star early era. Okay, the title of this video makes it seem like the most dry, boring video ever. But I promise it's actually cool. It's a 1-hour documentary about how people in the early era of Mario... Okay, how do I sell this? Okay, first off, I'm an ally to women. Let's get that out of the way. I feel like I'm done with my misogyny era. With my new hair coming in, I want a new outlook on life, and I'm done being misogynistic towards women. I have recently learned about periods. So... did you guys know the hormonal cycle? Fellas, do you even know about the friggin' hormonal cycle? Did you even know that the hormonal cycle is broken into 4 different weeks, and that the first week they're the happiest, and the last week they're the most emotional and saddest, and want to crawl into a ball and need food? Do you even know that, men? Do you even know this? Tim, you cricket because you don't even know. Brother doesn't even know about the luteal phase. Brother doesn't even know about the luteal phase. Anyway, hello. I am watching this video. Actually, has Ray ever speedrunned Mario? I think that would be fun content. I think if the fucking roomies started speedrunning Mario 16 star, that would be electric. She's not a Giga nerd? She's absolutely a fucking nerd. Are you kidding me? Respectfully, she is 100% a loser. Trapped in the body of someone who doesn't seem to be one. Like, what are we doing here? She got competitive about every game that's ever existed, ever. Respectfully. She worked at fucking GameStop. Thank you. Yeah, she worked at fucking GameStop. She deadass would look at somebody with 30 different discs and say, $4.95. I'll give you $4.95 for that. She did that. Okay, anyway... we are watching this video. I'll catch you up to speed. If you don't know, Mario 64 is the foundational game that made Twitch.tv what it is today. And we're about to learn about it. If you don't know, this is history, okay? You need to know about Siglemic. And you need to take this information. You need to hold this information. I know, like, of the 4,000 people who rated, 3,000 have already left. And another 900 are going to leave. To the 100 of you who are going to stay, I need you to take the information from today. It's not going to be a quiz. I need you to give this information to Valkyrie. Because I need you to accept the idea of her speedrunning more organically. So then when I bring it up, she'll be like, oh, I've heard of that. That sounds like it'd be fun. You be like, oh, have you heard of Mario speedrunning? It's actually a really cool thing. Like, there's a whole, you know what I mean? And then she'll get involved. Okay, that means Myung's a lock. They're in. Fuslie likes to make it 3. That's a damn party at that point. Ellen will do anything if you just give him food. And now we have a fun new group of content. We're tired of watching them play the same old fucking Valorant, aren't we? Come on.
You're my mans.
He'd been playing since January and was at the very top of his skills now. Could he do even better if he kept going? Well, Dragorn continued his attempts, and a few days later, he posted one final update in the forums. 2:10:40, a time that even he thought was impossible. Dragorn submitted the run to SDA, and everyone got excited. Nowadays, you can watch a run as soon as it happens, but back then you had to wait for it to be published, and there was a huge sense of anticipation.
Dude,
it was
ordering friggin' Domino's Pizza to download the 3 GB footage of someone playing Mario in 2004. That fucking rules. That
finally
is sick.
accepted and posted on the site a couple weeks later. At long last, all these members who'd been tracking his progress over the past 9 months were able to watch Dragorn's masterpiece.
2006, that is so old.
We see improvements right from the opening seconds of the run. Dragorn goes for and hits a...
Okay, I want people to be real. Press 1 if you were born after this run was posted. So basically, are you younger than 19? Press 1. That might be creepy for me to say out loud.
Trick called Lakitu Skip. When you walk on the bridge to enter the castle, Lakitu stops you to explain how the camera works. But if you only touch the very edge of the bridge, you never hit the trigger for the cutscene and are able to skip it. This only saves
Dude, he knew about Lakitu Skip in 2006?
About 10 seconds, but the fact that Dragorn hits it is a sign of what's to come. In Bob-omb Battlefield,
No way,
he
does he
gets a
bomb
trick
clip?
called Bomb Clip.
They bomb clip in 2006?
Albeit a different version than what's done in runs today. By taking the Bob-omb to the corner of the gate, then jumping as it explodes, you'll get pushed behind the gate and are free to collect the star, much faster than having to use the chomp. In general, there was much less playing it safe, and more tricks used to shave seconds off here and there. In Cool Cool Mountain, he quickly dropped down to the wall kicks will work star instead of slowly floating down like the old record. In Dire Docks, instead of using the slow poles to collect red coins, he did a series of difficult jumps to reach the platforms.
I've never done that.
This was a true speed run.
I've played probably, I would say, 300 hours of Mario. I've done 120-star runs, probably like 5 of them, 6 of them. I can't, with all the info I have, beat this game in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think my record's like 3 hours.
There were strategies, there were tricks, there were things you would not see in a normal playthrough. And importantly, Dragorn completed the entire run without dying. This was all everyone was hoping for and more. Dragorn stepped away from Mario 64 for good after this. Before he left, he posted a comment talking about the future of 120-star speedruns. He felt that a 209 was right around the human limit. A sub 2-hour speedrun was completely out of the question.
Dude, that's like the bane of speedrunners, is when they fucking speak out loud. They always say dumb shit like, yeah, I'm the record holder. I'm probably doing as fast as you could do unless you're a computer. And then you know what happens is time passes and people get way better at video games and they learn way more and they crush all expectations.
After Dragorn's run, the SDA community lost interest in 120-star, as well as most other Mario 64 categories. Throughout the rest of 2006, 2007, and 2008, Dragorn's record stood unchallenged.
It took the housing crisis.
Then, in 2009, a new Super Mario 64 community popped up. But this time, it was in Japan. Prior to now, 120-star hadn't seen competition from this part of the world. But in 2009, a group of runners from Japan started streaming speedruns to Nico Nico, a site that let you both live stream and upload videos.
That quality's phenomenal.
This new community turned into the best speedrunners the game had ever seen.
That must be new.
They were aware of Dragorn's 120-star record on SDA and set that as their goal time to beat. Once they blew past that record, they competed against each other
Wait,
to
they
take
blew
the
past it?
120-star record as low as possible. How did they do it? Well, on SDA, all the runners had to go off of was their own records. But by 2009, this new community had a great advantage. They had the SDA videos, plus their own live streams, a thriving community filled with players, competitive single-star leaderboards, and more.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most valuable part, is single-star records. Because ultimately a 120 star is like a combination of all the single-star records, but you can whittle it down so much better if you just focus on 1 star.
Runners were able to better collaborate, and it led to way more optimization than the game had seen previously. However, there are a couple caveats about their runs. For one thing, Nico didn't save livestream recordings over 30 minutes long, so the majority of records from this time period are lost. A few videos did survive, and we'll talk about those in a minute, but most records only exist as text on a web page. And then there's the other caveat. Version differences.
He says caveat weird, no?
All early runs of the game
it's for sure caveat.
Nintendo 64.
We're all in agreement on that.
However, by 2009, it was very possible to play the game on an emulator. While Speed Demo's archive expressly prohibited the use of emulators, that wasn't a universal rule.
That's
and
why
over
it
in
looks
Japan,
so good.
The Mario 64 speedrunning community was essentially starting from scratch. They decided to allow emulators for speedrun submissions. And as it turns out, there's a key difference between emulator and console runs.
No lag.
An emulator has much faster load times and much less lag than a Nintendo 64. The time adds up quickly. Over the course of a 2-hour run, an emulator picks up about a full minute compared to an original console.
I think this is a debate right now in the Mario 64 scene in North America, is whether they should allow or make emulator the standard. I've always been pro emulator. I think it just makes it more accessible. It looks better for viewers. And there's no drawback, right? Outside of freaking, I guess, breaking the law. But, like, who gives a shit about that? It's been so many years. No one's coming for you. Why not just eliminate load times? Because it's sometimes in the game. So, like, load time is a consideration, but also the save screen. So, for example, when you exit a level in Mario, a save screen pops up. If you're on a console, clicking save will literally save the data onto the console, which takes some amount of time. And if you times it by 120 for every star, it's like several minutes. On emulator, when you save, it's instant, right? Because it's like saving digitally to your fucking computer. And so that's why when you do it on console, you hit don't save, right? Which is like a 2-button input. So it's like, it's not that much harder, but it's just like, that's a difference from emulator. And then certain levels just have lag. Like any level with water when you're swimming, which has a lot of assets, like Dire Docks. I don't know if Jolly Roger Bay has lag, but I think it does. But it has lag when you swim on console. So you have to face the camera into the wall so it's not loading all the shit, so it doesn't lag.
That means emulator runners have a roughly 60-second advantage. Players in Japan couldn't agree if they should prioritize original hardware or the fastest version available, so there was high-level competition on both. For the next year and a half, the majority of world records were set on emulator, and most were set by one player, Honey. He repeatedly lowered his time down through 2:05, down to 2 hours flat, before finally achieving a 1:59.20.
Swag.
On Nintendo 64, this time would be a full minute slower. But remember, Dragorn's best run on console was a 2:10. So this 1:59 was in a class of its own.
Yeah, no, it's mogging.
How was Honey able to save so much time over Dragorn's run, which was itself considered excellent when it was achieved? Well, luckily, Honey's 1:59 is one of the few runs from this period with surviving video.
Thank God.
So we're actually able to see it.
You're Honey's biggest fan? Yeah, man. Yeah, okay, I was once upon a time. All right? I didn't know better. I was just a boy who loved things.
And it is nothing short of incredible.
Ooh, he does baby skip?
Once again, we'll start with the movement. Honey used more than just long jumps to move around quickly. He mixed in dives and rollouts to move a little bit faster. This may have saved a second or two per star, but across the whole run, this adds up to multiple minutes.
Yeah, that is, it's a way faster mode of travel.
Beyond the movement, Honey went for numerous faster strategies that were riskier than what Draghorn did, and showed off a higher level of gameplay overall.
Damn!
For instance, in Bob-omb Battlefield, you're intended to open the cannon and launch up to the big island in the sky, which is what Draghorn did. Instead, Honey gained speed off the slope, then did a triple jump with the wing cap to fly and make it up top.
Yeah, that's beast.
Quite a bit more impressive looking. In Womp's Fortress, he went for and hit Owless, a very precise trick where you must triple jump and kick off the side of the cage, then land back inside.
And you're telling me it saves money?
It only saves a few seconds over using the owl to drop in, but this is the level of execution that Honey could pull off. Another example of strategy improvement is how he handled the level Hazy Mazy Kazy Cave, or HMC for short.
Wait, what? I thought it was just called Hazy Maze Cave.
It's how he handled the level Hazy Mazy Kazy Cave.
When the fuck was it called Hazy Mazy Kazy Cave?
Or HMC for short. This level has many different rooms,
Probably
but there's
splits.
no ceiling, so if you can get high enough to clear the walls, then you can quickly jump from room to room. For instance, by side flipping and kicking off the wall in the elevator room, Honey was able to clear the wall and make it to the swimming beast in the cavern star. He did similar tricks all through HMC to save 2 minutes over Draghorn. This type of gameplay continued even upstairs during some of the game's hardest levels. Just about the only major flaw was a death in the Wing Mario over the Rainbow Star.
That's a brutal death. That's such a time sink.
Kicked him all the way outside the castle. Despite that, it finished 11 minutes faster.
That's like a
Draghorn's
minute
SDA
time
run.
sink.
One of those minutes came from emulator time saves, but the other 10 were legit. Just better gameplay across the entire run. Over the next few months, the 120-star record underwent a period of rapid improvement. These new runners were all pushing each other, breaking new ground and seeing just how far their talent could take them. Remember, 120-star speedruns were still pretty novel, and as much skill as they took, there was room to optimize them more. Throughout 2010, there were several more records set on both emulator and console. Batora, Honey, and Natoshin Elmo traded the record back and forth.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Thank you for the 5 gifted, Pluto! I appreciate that very much. Do you guys know Batora, who had the record in 2010, is still a massive streamer in Japan today? I follow Batora. He does Mario still, but he also just does like whatever the fuck he wants. He gets like 10,000 viewers at least today. 15 years later, that's crazy.
Although no video exists for any of their runs. Finally, 7 months after the last record with surviving video, we're able to see another one. 156.17 on console by a runner named Shigeru. When accounting for emulator
is that the Shigeru cycle?
Time difference, this run was 4 minutes faster than the last
Is
record
that Shigeru
with
cycle?
video. That's a lot of progression over just 7 months. Shigeru's biggest strength was his movements, which can be seen in the Bowser stages. These levels have objects that move on cycles, like elevators and moving platforms. In Bowser in the Dark World, Shigeru's movement collecting the 8 red coins was fast enough to make an earlier cycle, which is still known today as Shigeru's cycle.
Damn.
He also saved time by going for front sub in Dire Dire Docks. Boarding from the front has more lag and is more precise than
That's
boarding
so
from the back,
sick!
but it is faster, and Shigeru nailed it. He avoided dying on the Wing Mario over the Rainbow Star, and was just a little bit cleaner overall than what we saw 7 months ago. Then, in the summer of 2010, due to concerns over cheating, the Japanese community decided to split the leaderboards for 120 star. Emulator runs would have one leaderboard, and console runs would have another.
That's fair.
This led to the community starting to prioritize console runs, and most runners began to switch away from emulator. By late 2010, pretty much all top runners were playing on console, and directly competed against Shigeru's 156 world record. The next several months were more of the same. Elmo set a new world record time of 155.42.
Say Elmo?
Later in December, Batora got a 154 and then a 152. All these runs were on console, with no more controversy over which platform was best. In early 2011, Notoshin Elmo got a 151, Honey beat him back with a 150.
Let's go, Honey!
Notoshin Elmo came through with a
Ooh,
149.
we love Honey!
This was the first ever sub 150 in Mario 64 history, and remains one of its most popular records, with 12 million views on YouTube. But there's not too much to add about these runs. They didn't incorporate anything revolutionary. It was all about cleaner execution and fewer mistakes.
That Japanese
Honey's
movement.
149 in particular was a masterpiece of consistency. Over the past year, these runners have been pushing each other to minimize mistakes and execute.
12 million's insane back then. Dude, 12 million's insane now. I have one video on my channel that has 12 million views, and it was fucking Mr. Beast. That's it. Artie! Thank you, 18 months. Love you. 12 million views is fucking crazy.
All strategies cleanly. And Honey's 149 was viewed as the pinnacle, the most consistent run the game had ever seen. This was a vibrant, active group that had transformed the way 120-star speedruns were done. The amount of new tricks, the incredible movement, they just kept finding ways to take the record lower. The Japanese community formed 2 years earlier, and in that time they'd taken the world record down by 21 minutes.
That's insane because it will take literally 10 years to cut another 20 minutes.
During that entire period, nobody 10, outside of Japan was competitive for
10,
the
right?
120-star record. The last relevant Western player was Dragorn back in 2006. Now 5 years later, that was still the fastest time outside of Japan. While games like Super Mario Bros. And Ocarina of Time were growing and thriving, 120-star had essentially been abandoned by the West. But that was about to change.
We need to build in the West again, bro.
In 2010, a website called
We need to build and run
120-star. Speedruns Live allowed you to race a game head-to-head against anybody. It kept track of your time and declared a winner at the end. Speedrunners loved using it, and by late 2010, a group of runners were regularly racing Super Mario 64.
ZFG?
They learned fast strategies to collect all the stars and pushed each other to get better. While their times weren't impressive at first, their frequent races allowed them to improve quickly. By 2011, a few of them had gotten good. Really good. To the point of starting to rival the amazing players over in Japan. 3 players rose above the rest. Their names were Giano, Sicko, and Siglemic. By mid-2011, through repeated races against each other, they all managed to get personal bests in the low 150s. Just a few minutes behind the world record. All 3 players were roughly equal in skill. They raced every week, and it was a mix of who came out on top. But that gradually changed. Over time, one player came out on top more often. By the summer of 2011, the winner of the majority of these races was Siglemic. He took the game more seriously. He practiced more often. After setting a personal best of 151.15 in June, Siglemic started to feel that—
Dude, there's no better feeling than fucking speedrun racing a game with your friends and you're all fucking dog shit at it, but getting better. That's a treat. It's a treat that leaves, though. It won't last forever, because then you get too good.
He had a chance to take the record.
That's what happened with us in Mario Party.
Playing for
we got
hours
too good
every single day. His time started to approach the record shockingly fast. It took him just months to get times that took most runners years. It was exciting to watch him improve, and many were rooting for him. If he could pull this off, it'd be the first record outside of Japan in half a decade. And then, on July 23rd, 2011, it happened. Siglemic got a 149.05, a new world record by 44 seconds. Siglemic did one notable thing in this run that really exemplifies his playstyle. He chose to play Womp's Fortress early, right after collecting the first star. This was so he could go for a trick called Cannonless. You're intended to get the Blast Away the Wall star by launching out of the cannon, breaking the wall, and revealing the star. However, it's possible to run at the wall from above, then ledge grab, which pushes Mario's hitbox above where he appears. It intersects with the star, and you collect it without having to get in the cannon. This trick is extremely precise. You can run at the wall all you want, and usually you won't ledge grab. So, Siglemic chose to go for this trick very early in the run.
Dude, he did OG canonless too. I
If
feel
he
like that's
missed it
lucky
too
as
many
fuck.
times, then he'd just reset, not having wasted too much time.
I think it's just luck. I've done this trick. I didn't even know that's how it works. Yeah, there's a setup to get it guaranteed, but like OG canonless is when you just run at the fucking wall, and I feel like that shit is luck.
In this new record, he got canonless quickly, setting him off to a great start. But here's the weird thing. Beyond this, while the run was fantastic, some who watched it felt it wasn't quite as impressive as the previous record. Siglemic made more mistakes, his movement wasn't quite as good. It's what you'd expect from someone who'd been running the game for under a year. But his time was faster than Elmo's run. There was no denying it. Something wasn't adding up. Now, most in Japan respected Speed Demo's archive, and when Siglemic's run was posted to the site, they immediately took notice. But instead of being wowed by Siglemic's achievement, many of them were upset. And they had a good reason. See, Siglemic didn't play on an emulator, but he also didn't play on a Nintendo 64. He played on the Wii Virtual Console. This version was what many Western speedrunners played on at the time. It was cheap if you already owned a Wii, and easier than a Nintendo 64. It also just happened to save a full 2 minutes from reduced loads and lag. That meant
Soy American using Wii?
This run was played on an original console.
Dude, freaking Burger American using freaking Wii to save 2 damn minutes. They don't have any work ethic, no love of the game. Burger Yingling, what do you want, man? What do you want, man?
Almost, it probably would have been a 151. That's a fair distance from the record. Siglemic's run was objectively worse. The only reason it was faster was because of Virtual Console.
Damn.
Now, Japan had a Virtual Console version too,
Drama.
but it was much slower than the US version. So if a Japanese runner wanted to compete with Siglemic, they'd either have to do so with a 2-minute disadvantage, or import an American Wii, which was very expensive and overall difficult at the time. This could have caused a massive controversy. Runners from all over the world playing on different versions, it would have been a mess. But Siglemic knew he could put an end to this right now. When Honey explained how hard it would be to beat his Virtual Console run, Siglemic responded, "Okay, I'll play on the Nintendo 64 going forward." And just like that,
That's
the
so
matter was
beast.
settled.
That's so beast. Fucking the Japanese dude's like, dude, it's so hard to beat you on N64.
Bet.
And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, bet, yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'll do your shit.
64 going forward.
That's so
and just
beast.
like that, the matter was settled. All the top runners in Japan and the top runner in America would all play on Nintendo 64. To this day, top-level Mario 64 competition is nearly exclusively done on Original Console. Over the next few months, Siglemic practiced and adjusted to the Nintendo 64, while Japanese runners...
It's funny because an example of a game that didn't do this was Ocarina of Time. A game that went through like 5 to 10 different console changes every time trying to find which console was the fastest. And it became like a cost-prohibitive speedrun where you're switching from, original hardware to sanctioned emulated hardware to a fucking Chinese system that nobody uses.
Continued to excel. That fall, Honey beat the record twice, first with a 149.25, then a 148.50. But in November, a new runner from Japan took over, Nero, and he became the first to implement a crazy trick at the start of the run, LBLJ. Bear with me for a moment, because this is a strange one.
Dude, I can't do this
In Super Mario
still.
64, there's a trick used in various categories called the backwards long jump, where you build up reverse speed by repeatedly long jumping backwards. Now, LBLJ stands for Lobby Backwards Long Jump. By jumping into an out-of-bounds area accessible from the basement, you can repeatedly BLJ into
LeBron
the
James.
basement ceiling, which extends upward. You land in a black area right outside the front door with a lot of speed built up, then rotate the camera to help navigate Mario toward the 8-star door and through it.
Why is there a Mario humping emote? It's him BLJing. Catch up.
What's the benefit of this? Well, you normally have to collect the first star of the run in Bob-on Battlefield, but you can't collect all the stars there until you have the wing cap, unlocked at 10 stars. This means you have to eventually backtrack to Bob-on Battlefield once you have the wing cap. With LBLJ, you collect the first star in Bowser in the Dark World, eliminating the need to backtrack and saving 10 seconds. It's a hard trick for not a huge time save, but Nero was good at it and pioneered it in 120-star runs. Ever since Siglemic's Virtual Console run, the Japanese community had picked up where they left off.
Is Nero Japanese? Nero's Japanese, right?
Continuing to improve and lower the record. Honey and Nero had each beaten the record
Why the fuck did you name yourself Nero? He was like one of the worst Roman leaders ever. Horrible, famously.
Shaving 2 minutes off the time. Meanwhile, Siglemic practiced hard on Nintendo 64, trying to catch up to the runners in Japan.
Oh, Devil May Cry fan. Speaking of Devil May Cry, I hate doing this normally because it's free marketing for them, but Netflix sent an OG fucking Netflix envelope. Like, I remember getting these back in the day, and it had a disc and like the return slip. Like, if I want, I have like the return slip here, and it has Devil May Cry. I guess the anime is on Netflix or some shit. I thought that was kind of swag. Why is it burnt? I don't know. I assume because of Devil or some shit. I don't know why Devil May Cry was the choice. They also sent me this, which I thought was a bit sexual to the makers of Netflix. I thought it was a bit sexual. It'd be funny if you returned it. Yeah, I think I might have to.
He got better, soon surpassing where he was on Virtual Console. After months of practicing, he once again set his sights on the record.
Kelby, is that it?
In late 2011, Siglemic started live streaming his attempts to break the 120-star world record. He streamed to a brand new website called Twitch.tv.
Damn, their old logo was butt.
Something strange happened. His live stream went viral. Many people had never seen Mario 64 speedruns before, and were captivated by Siglemic's level of gameplay. It was a novel concept to play the game like this, and seeing a potential world record live was exciting. His Twitch stream grew quickly. After a couple months, he was regularly pulling thousands of viewers. His community was determined to see him reclaim the record, loyally watching him play for hours and hours. The hype continued to build, while Siglemic continued to close in on the record. And it all culminated in a run just after Christmas 2011. Siglemic played a bit differently than Nero. He didn't go for LBLJ, but overall executed tricks a little faster. He hit cannonless, got the fast cycle in Fire Sea that Nero missed, and went for a risky triple jump off the fin in Dire Dire Doc's 100 coin. After all this, Siglemic made it upstairs 25 seconds ahead of the record. Hype was building in the chat, as the viewer count climbed into the thousands. The fast execution continued upstairs. His practice from the past few months paid off. He closed out the last few
choke
levels,
again?
defeated Bowser, and broke the world record in front of 4,500 viewers. This
4,500 viewers in 2011 is fucking crazy. 2011, bro? The year they switched that shit to Twitch?
Record made Siglemic an internet phenomenon. Threads appeared on all different forums. News articles were written. Everyone wanted to hear about the man who'd broken the world record live on stream.
Dude, old Twitch chat. Sig number 1. Nero, you jelly?
Siglemic had escaped from the niche of speedrunning and entered mainstream pop culture. It was the most attention speedrunning had ever received before. Many wondered how they could get involved, while others were happy to have just witnessed it live. After all was said and done, Siglemic was satisfied.
It really is like the fucking core of what Twitch is, right? Just a beautiful live moment that you can say I was here for and then move about your day.
Stopped playing 120 star. So, the Japanese community was able to take over once again. The 3 top runners in the world were Siglemic, Honey, and Nero. So it was only fitting that once Siglemic broke the record, Honey and Nero quickly followed suit. In March of 2012, Honey got a 147.05, then Nero got a 146.35. Both new world records. So, the ball was back in Siglemic's court. He resumed streaming attempts to take back the record, but this time he ran into some serious adversity. Throughout the spring and summer of 2012, Siglemic streamed often, but he wasn't able to break through. He was still getting a lot of viewers, captivating the attention of speedrunning fans everywhere. Yet, this time, they weren't rewarded with a new record. Siglemic was in a unique spot. He had an enormous live stream, played the most popular speedrun, and he really wanted to reclaim the record. So, that summer, he devised a plan. A plan that, to this day, remains a famous part of speedrunning history. The August Marathon. Throughout August 2012, Siglemic was going to stream for 12 hours a day, every single day, and hopefully lower the world record as much as he could.
Damn, that's actually fucking sick. I didn't know about this. That's like he just made a cool streaming event.
Siglemic's August Marathon is a legend from the old days of speedrunning. Unlike his previous streams, Siglemic put splits on the screen, so viewers could follow along and see exactly how far ahead or behind he was. The splits in his gameplay on stream were enough to keep viewers captivated. Despite hardly talking at all, not even using a microphone for extended periods, viewers poured into these streams. Every day, he'd regularly have a few thousand viewers as a baseline. When he got on world record pace, it'd go up to 7,000, 8,000, even 10,000 viewers.
That's
or
crazy,
more.
bro.
And keep in mind, this was back in the year 2012.
It is crazy to do that in 2012. Having said that, I still think Rice Gum is on the Mount Rushmore. Sorry, Siglemic.
Despite the speedrunning community being much larger today, these types of numbers are practically impossible for a modern speedrunner to achieve.
That is such a fucking roast. Jesus.
These types of numbers are practically impossible for a modern speedrunner.
It's impossible for modern soy speedrunner Big A to achieve 10,000 viewers.
To achieve. Today's viewing base is divided between hundreds or even thousands of streamers playing live at the same time. But in 2012, Siglemic was one of only a few speedrunning streamers, and he was playing an iconic game at the highest level.
Yeah, I think to get that many viewers from an authentic speedrunner who has world record capabilities, I mean, it would be possible. It'd be possible nowadays. Batora could do it easily. Simply, I guess, yeah, no, they could. Distortion, yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, I actually don't know if I agree with this. You do it? Yeah, but I think it's different if someone's already beating that marker and then they just do it with speedrunning. But, like, if someone's averaging 2,000 viewers, then they are on world record pace, you know, and then they're, you know what I mean? I think it's the climb. But I think Distortion for Elden Ring did it for sure.
It was a perfect storm of conditions that often led to a viewer count above 10,000. One of the biggest live streamers in the world. They didn't care about a face cam, a microphone, or any of that. They just wanted to see an amazing player destroy their video game. There's only one problem. Many years ago, Siglemic deleted all of his Mario 64 gameplay from Twitch and YouTube, meaning his August Marathon has very little surviving footage. Thankfully, a few of his viewers were recording his stream during some of his good runs, and certain full runs were downloaded before they were deleted from YouTube. But still, much of his August Marathon is completely lost to time. That being said, here's what we do know about the marathon. Siglemic started on August 1st, and for the first 3 days, nothing notable happened. But then on August 4th, he got a run that you're familiar with. It happened in front of 8,000 viewers during his August marathon. He had to come out of his crouch before jumping, then messed up his angle toward the star. As painful as this was, Siglemik was at the top of his game, and with daily 12-hour streams, there was no doubt he'd get another chance soon. Sure enough, on day 5 of the marathon, he got another run on record pace. Not quite as fast as what he had yesterday, though. He made mistakes upstairs, but nothing catastrophic. And after 5 days, 60 hours of streaming, Siglemik managed to break through.
That just, I don't think that could happen nowadays. I think the record is so competitive. Even 12 hours a day for 30 days couldn't guarantee breaking it. It would be so tough. You know? Yeah, there's just more margin back then.
Oh my god, that was really the world record.
14,000 viewers had just witnessed a new world record. Once again, the news made it around the internet. But this was only August 5th. He still had more than 3 weeks to go. His record was 146.23. If he could clean up mistakes in Tiny Huge Island and Rainbow Ride, a 145 was within his reach.
I feel like it'd be easier if you got the record to have that weight off your shoulders to then beat the time, you know?
Not much happened on day 6, but on day 7, Siglemik set another new record.
Thank you, the problem, dummy.
146.21, just a 2-second improvement. Unfortunately, no footage of this run survives today. All we have are a couple screenshots from the end of the run, showing his splits and the chat that was popping off. The August marathon was already a huge success. In only a week, Siglemik had broken the record twice and had the attention of the entire speedrunning community. Still 24 days to go. The 12-hour streams continued, and just 2 days later, something genuinely shocking happened. The 145 was achieved by Honey. While all eyes were on Siglemik, Honey had been doing 120-star runs too. Not quite as much, but still several hours per day.
Damn,
the final
Honey!
time was 145.41, and the video still exists in its entirety. The most notable part was a new trick he went for called Pillarless. Normally, to enter the top of the pyramid, you must reach the top of all 4 pillars to cause the pyramid's top to fly off. Pillarless is a complicated trick
It's so complicated. It's crazy that it is in 2012.
Skips this. You throw and re-grab a bomb just before it explodes, pushing Mario backwards, then enter a state called hands-free holding and carefully navigate inside the top of the pyramid. It's very risky to go for in a long 120-star speedrun. Beyond
I know it's
that,
standard now,
Honey
but
didn't add anything new. He simply played very consistently, especially in Rainbow Ride where Siglemik had struggled so much. Siglemik was a good sport about being beaten. After all, he had 22 days left to beat him back. Surely that would be enough time, right? Well, it took him 3 hours. This run too has become lost to time, but on the same evening as Honey's record, Siglemik beat him with a 145.35. We have but one screenshot of this run, showing 7,300 viewers losing their mind in the chat. Very little is known about the run.
3 hours is fucking insane. If I'm Honey, I'm like, bro, this American Terminator, he has no hose, no job. He plays 12 hours a fucking day. I gotta work my job in Japan. Fucking this guy. 3 hours.
By his splits, there was a major time loss in shifting Sandland, and he capitalized on time save in Rainbow Ride. In just the first 9 days of his August marathon, Siglemik had set 2 records, been beaten, and then reclaimed the record. He couldn't have asked for a more exciting start. These 12-hour streams continued every day for the rest of the month, with thousands of viewers watching at all times. But over the final 22 days of August, he didn't set any new records. While we have a poor account of these remaining 22 days, Siglemik was known to have had some close calls. On August 23rd, he had a beautiful run. All this info comes from a single post on Reddit. He seems to have had a modest lead, got a huge time save in shifting Sandland, then gained more time upstairs. He was about a minute ahead of his 1:45.35, on pace for a mid 1:44. But something went horribly wrong in Rainbow Ride. These sorts of paces happened multiple times through the rest of August.
Dude, what a sad message. I don't even freaking feel like playing anymore. I don't even want to be around anymore, dude. This game freaking sucks.
The month ended with no new records, but it felt like a 1:44 was right on the doorstep. Even though the daily 12-hour streams were done, Siglemik was still motivated. And right on cue, on September 1st, he came through with the first ever 1:44.
That's so sick. He did an August marathon. The first day after the marathon breaks the record again.
This record is notable for being one of very few records from Siglemik that survived in its entirety. We can watch it from start to finish. And a pretty significant change in this run is Siglemik's route through the lobby. He played Cool Cool Mountain later, then saved Jolly Roger Bay as the last level before going upstairs. This worked out well, as despite falling off the sub in Dire Dire Docks, he opened up a 44-second lead over the record. He used the same route upstairs, which had been standard for quite some time now. Wet Dry World first, followed by Tiny Huge Island, Tall Tall Mountain, and Snowman's Land, then up to Tippy for Tick-Tock Clock and Rainbow Ride. Of these levels, Tiny Huge Island was a bit slow at times, especially on the 100 coin star. But the key to success in 120 star is consistency, and Siglemik avoided any huge mistakes. It's what he needed to get a 1:44.52. And once again, the record blew up online. Forum threads, blog posts, par for the course for Siglemik.
I hope when Honey breaks a record, Japan's popping off. Like, I don't have access to those websites, but it does feel like so American has done it. And then Honey breaks a record, and people are like, well, expected.
This guy captured the gaming community's attention like no speedrunner had ever done before. Every record was in front of thousands of viewers, and was heard by many thousands more in the following days. It really can't be overstated the impact Siglemik had on speedrunning back in 2012. Through his August marathon and hundreds of hours of dedication, he'd achieved a 1:44 while making speedrunning more popular than ever.
It is hard to understate the impact speedrunning has had on Twitch. Because that was like the shit. It was like the thing to do. If you were a fucking autistic white boy back then who could move quick in a video game, my God, people flocked to you. That shit ruled. It was the best content of all time. I think it still is too, by the way. But obviously, like, I think it was, and obviously there was other speedruns, but it really felt like it was Mario and Ocarina of Time. Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time were so, like, they were like the speedruns. But now there's so many speedruns. There's so many speedruns of every game.
Throughout the rest of 2012, Siglemik played the game off and on. His motivation dried up a bit once there
Twitch
were no
loved the
threats to
pasty
his
white boy.
record. He developed a cycle where he wouldn't play for several weeks, then came back and did a 12 or 24-hour stream. It seemed like a perfect run with his strategies and skills could be a 1:43. He had a high 1:44 right now, so he'd have to take another minute off. It was possible by cleaning up mistakes, but sustaining that level of gameplay over an hour and a half would be tough. In October, Siglemik took a step in that direction with a 1:44.23. As opposed to his last record, practically nothing is known about this run. No footage exists, and no splits have been provided. All we have are a couple screenshots someone posted to Reddit seconds after the end of the run. Siglemik continued the sporadic someone posted to Reddit.
To earn, guys. To earn.
Reddit seconds after
nice earn. I like earns.
The end of the run. Siglemik continued the sporadic playstyle over the next couple months, and on December 19th, he came through with one more world record, 1:44.01. This is another run with a full surviving
I think that's his last run ever, if I remember correctly. I've looked at the leaderboards before.
Video. His only significant mistake downstairs was when he messed up pillarless and died, costing him 25 seconds. Upstairs, he had a slow Rainbow Ride star when he missed the switch and then failed to back up. Those were his biggest mistakes across an hour and 44 minutes.
Horrible.
If he'd only been 2 seconds faster, this would have been the 143.
Fucking horrible.
But it was still a really solid run, and a big cut off the record. This run finally satisfied Siglemic. He was now ahead of second place by 1.5 minutes, and his motivation died down even more. He was the king of Super Mario 64.
He was
had the
20?
notoriety, the name recognition, and of course, his records spoke for themselves. When anyone thought of Mario 64 speedrunning, they thought of Siglemic. He ran 120 star live at Awesome Games Done Quick in January 2013. This was the first time most people had seen him before. Many called his run the best part of the week-long marathon. Entering 2013, Siglemic's streams really slowed down. He went months at a time without playing. A 143 was still possible, but it wasn't a high at a time without playing.
FAQ. I got banned. Will you unban me? Please don't PM me about bans ever. I don't respond. Just make a new account like everyone else does. Lol.
A 143 was still possible, but it wasn't a high priority for him.
There
was no telling how long
frankly,
it'd take for him
based,
to be dethroned. Way ahead of everyone else, with his legacy already set in stone, Siglemic rode off into the sunset. On August 18th, 2013, the Super Mario 64 community woke up to some pretty shocking news. A player named Hyacinth27 had supposedly just beaten Siglemic's 120 star record. The new time was 1:43:37, and he had streamed it live. Many had never heard of this guy before, and now it seemed like he'd somehow beaten Siglemic to the 143. Supportive messages poured in. Even Twitch themselves congratulated Hyacinth. But how could this happen? What was going on? Well, while Siglemic got massive attention for his 120 star records in 2012, a group of runners was trying to get good in the background on Wii Virtual Console, which, as we know, would give them a 2-minute advantage. There was still no official ruling on Virtual Console runs, so they knew a faster run might be considered the official world record, even if it was worse played than Siglemic's runs on console. Over time, most of these runners gave up, but one kept going. Hyacinth. Throughout early 2013, he got good on Virtual Console. By August, with the built-in advantage, he was good enough to beat Siglemic's time.
That's so cheese. That's so cheese. To be like, guys, I have this master plan.
Technically achieving the first 143 in Super Mario 64 history. And controversy erupted. Hyacinth was a very good player, but the footage showed he wasn't on Siglemic's level. He got some hard tricks, like cannonless and pillarless, but he had plenty of slow moments. And overall, his movement wasn't as clean either. The community was divided on how to treat this run. Some felt it was a legit new world record, and Siglemic should have been playing on Virtual Console all along. Others disagreed, and thought Virtual Console was its own separate category. It was a valid question. Do you prioritize original hardware, or fastest version available? There was no set way of dealing with it. How did Siglemic feel about all this? Well, he wasn't too happy. Here was this new guy, clearly not as good and with an inferior run, claiming world record based off a technicality. Siglemic could have been playing on Virtual Console too, but remember, he chose not to all those years ago so that he could be on equal footing with Japanese runners.
Yeah, I would think you go off precedent.
I miss the old Ludwig.
That's kind of what, Jude-Man, thank you very much. That's kind of what matters here. You know, and Siglemic is the George Washington. He got the world record with VC. The Japanese player said, it's kind of hard to beat that, and he made the call to join them and then paved the road. And so you follow the road that he paved. He paved the road. That is precedent. Precedent was set. So I feel like coming in and then being like, technically, this is the record, cringe. It's cringe.
Hyacinth did the exact opposite. He specifically picked Virtual Console so he could have an advantage. So, Siglemic devised a plan. He created a brand new Twitch account, Based Earn God. He stuck a weird-looking timer in the top left. He booted up Mario 64 on Virtual Console. He distorted the colors to deliberately make it look horrible. He played copyrighted music in the background. And within hours, He beat the run that Hyacinth took months to achieve.
That's fucking funny as shit. I didn't know about that. That is so funny. That is so fucking funny. Just took a shit all over his work. Oh my god. I didn't think you could clown like that in the speedrunning community. That's heinous behavior. I am now world champ at Mario 64. Oh, yes.
Siglemic had made a statement. Wii Virtual Console was its own category. Nintendo 64 was the only legit way to run the game.
That's so sick.
Just like he'd done in 2011, it more or less ended the platform debate. The recognized world record was Siglemic's 144.01 on Nintendo 64.
It's so much more powerful than saying anything with words. Like, because presumably he could have weighed in as an arbiter based off his knowledge, but it would have been more debated as opposed to showing why it's dumb.
And to this day, nobody else has ever threatened the world record on anything other than an original Nintendo 64.
Well, I think it's become
After
a debate
that curious
recently,
saga was over, things went back to normal. Siglemic did attempts every now and then, but for the most part, he left the 120-star record alone. He was tired of resetting over and over again early for Canonless. It wasn't too fun. But finally, in early 2014, Siglemic started to get some legitimate competition. For the first time since Honey in 2012, somebody moved within half a minute of his world record. The runner's name was Puncation. Punke started running the game in 2012, inspired by old school runners like Giano and later Siglemic. He began streaming in 2013 and steadily lowered his 120-star PB from the 150s to the 140s, gradually approaching Siglemic's level. This slow and methodical march downward culminated in a 144.30, the closest anyone had been to Siglemic in years.
Has Punke had the world record?
Punke's run had a particularly slow start, with a bad Whomp's Fortress and
He has it in
Mountain.
Virtual Console,
But
or emulator,
that just
I think.
showed he had more time to save. The potential was there to get a 143. With Punke closing in, Siglemic ramped up his attempts again. He was so close to a 143. Just 2 more seconds and he'd be satisfied. He started doing 24-hour streams of 120-star, and supposedly had some amazing attempts.
The interesting thing about speedrunning is, I guess it's like any competition, you're only as good as your other competitors. Like, you can only push yourself individually so far until somebody else threatens you, and then you push yourself. But without that, it's like, it's really hard to
A
self-motivate.
Reddit post from March 18th details one run that was on pace for a massive record deep, but Sig made catastrophic mistakes at the end to kill it. This continued into April. Siglemic just couldn't beat his 144.01. Then on April 22nd, it was Punke coming through with another PB, 144.11, performed live in front of thousands of viewers. He was now just 10 seconds away from Siglemic. This run was also on 143 pace deep, but he died on
Thank you,
Rainbow
Apex
Ride
Type, for
going
the
for
sub.
the Lakitu bounce. You're intended to go above the red coins to get to the cruiser, but by precisely wall kicking and then bouncing off Lakitu, you can take a shortcut to get there faster. It's difficult, and Punke died going for it. Had he not, this would have been the first ever 143. Siglemic was on the verge of this slipping away. He'd been dominant ever since the record was a 146.
What year is it now?
It seemed like 143 would be his natural end goal, but now Punke had swooped in. And it might be
2014?
too late. Determined to get the 143, he started up a stream the same day as Punke's 144.11. Just as usual, Siglemic played for hours, much of that time spent at the start of the game. But eventually, he got a run going, and it was evident that this time, he was locked in.
No. Ooh! Good backup.
He gradually worked his way through the basement. Hazy Maze Cave, Lethal Lava Land, Big Boo's Haunt. He made small mistakes, but nothing huge. Star after star went down. He eventually made it upstairs, exactly 1 second ahead of the record. Everything intensified
all you need.
now. He was entering the home stretch, but also some of the game's hardest levels. Despite this, everything went smoothly until he played Tall Tall Mountain. Siglemic failed to enter the wall and had to bail to another star. Not a huge mistake, but without splits he couldn't tell how bad it was. After, things went well for a while, but he had a rough 100 coin star in Tick-Tock Clock. He missed one single coin from a question mark block, and when he tried to chase it down, it had fallen over the edge. So, he had to go out of his way to collect more coins.
That's tough.
After Tick-Tock Clock, Siglemic was 4 seconds behind the record. The 143 might still be possible, but from here to the end, Siglemic would need near perfection.
I can do that. I can't do that. I can do that. That's easy. That's easy. Damn, that's easy. Easy. Hard. Very hard. That's hard as fuck.
Alright, 143. That's it. I just got 143.
Go!
That was sick.
That was sick.
Overwhelming relief. After years of the 144.01 being on top, finally, the 143 was real. And despite Pun-K making a push, Siglemic was the one to achieve it. While he did have his share of slowdowns, the ending of this run was amazing. Close to perfect gameplay throughout Rainbow Ride and Bowser in the Sky. An extremely well-deserved record, and a massive milestone in the game's history. That being said, most thought this record wouldn't last long. It seemed inevitable that, any day now, Pun-K was going to take over. His time was on a collision course with Siglemic, and sure enough, just a day later, Pun-K got a 144.05. The runners were separated by just 12 seconds, but instead of defending his record, Siglemic switched categories. He'd already gotten what he wanted from 120 star.
That's fair.
So he was content to sit aside and watch what Pun-K could do.
Yeah, I think that's
After
smart.
a few weeks, Pun-K's
How long you want to defend your record for, you know? You defend it for 2 fucking years?
time still remained at
You break the minute barrier that's about to be broken?
144.05. Yet, his abilities improved all the while. He was building up the skills he'd need once that world record chance presented itself. And on May 22nd, he got that chance. First off, Pun-K still wasn't going for LBLJ. Why? Well, for one thing, there was a misconception of how much time it saved. We know today it saves about 10 seconds, but back then it was believed to be a much smaller time save. But skipping LBLJ was also reflective of Pun-K's playstyle in general. He had the reputation of being a bit of a safe runner. He was capable of great movement, and had an extremely high skill level, but he didn't always go for the riskiest strategies. Compared to Siglemic, he lost a small amount of time from his gameplay, yet also made fewer mistakes. It meant he got more runs going, with more chances at the record. In this particular run, Pun-K fell a bit behind early, but avoided a death that Siglemic took during Pillarless. So heading upstairs, he was 15 seconds ahead of the record.
That was rough.
The name of the game upstairs is consistency. Since 120-star runs are so long, filled with non-stop tech and execution, small mistakes are inevitable through the run. The key is to avoid the big mistakes, especially upstairs. And that was Pun-K's
How many times are you going to show that
specialty.
clip?
Even though his movement was a bit slower, he made up time by making fewer mistakes. This consistency gave him a lead over the record going into Bowser. But despite over an hour and a half of clean gameplay, he still had to land 3 Bowser throws, or it would all be for nothing.
Did he choke? He's setting it up like he fucking choked. And I squeaked it. Yep, I fucking squeaked it, guys. Alright, I'm logging off for tonight.
I did it. I did it.
That's so sick. Doing it and then saying you fucking did it.
I did it.
Pun-K is Australian, right?
The most prestigious record in all of speedrunning had just changed hands. This was the first time since Siglemic's August marathon that he didn't hold the world record. The community celebrated Punk's achievement, stunned to see a new name at the top. And it was well deserved. Punk had developed the best consistency that the game had ever seen. Throughout the summer of 2014, Siglemic and Punk raced each other regularly. They formed a great rivalry since they were nearly equal in skill.
That's when New York finance student Squeaks entered the scene with his blistering fast 50-minute 70-star time.
Even if their playstyles were a bit different. But although he enjoyed racing, Siglemic had no interest in going for the record anymore. After so many years of playing, he'd done what he wanted with 120 star, and his motivation to lower the record was gone. So now, that meant it was Punk's game.
When you get a world record, dude, it's like, how long do you want to defend it for? You know what I mean? How many years do you want to defend it? Like, for my Mario Party record, you know, I defended that shit for days. And then I just had shit in life, you know?
Record? The thing is,
shit
Punk
comes up.
hadn't been at this as long as Siglemic. Month after month, his movements and consistency got a little bit better. So, Punk believed that if he kept going, he could eventually make it to the next minute barrier. While the 143 was associated with Siglemic, maybe Punk's time could be the 142.
Just make a YouTube video claiming you hold every record, boom, immortalized. I have thought about that. You make a Summoning Salt similar channel. You make very accurate, historic videos, and then you occasionally fucking sneak yourself in one.
That July, he embarked on a journey to try and get it.
Just sneak yourself in some old shit.
Nice, dude. You did it.
The speedrunning community will fucking kill. Well, you know, we're already on tough terms because of my relationship with the whites, okay? But I'm working on myself.
Nice, dude. Good gameplay.
Punk takes a world record for 120 star in Mario 64 with a time of 143.38. Now I can go to bed happy. Dude, that's actually so sick. Armada was such a fanboy in 2014 because he would go on to become a future world record holder of 70 star. He doesn't have it yet. He will have it though.
All right, that's a new world record.
Stop saying fart guy.
I still don't think this run is that good. No! No, dude! Why? Are you freaking kidding me? No! No, dude!
While the records kept coming, Punk couldn't help but get frustrated. He'd come so close to the 142, only to have it slip away in the final seconds.
He sounds so white. You have to understand that Mario's always been a battle between Japan's finest gamers and just the pastiest white boys for years. Okay? For years and years. Really till Cheese came along. Cheese kind of broke the mold.
By late July, he'd set 5 world records in a row. Pretty incredible given how nobody had been able to dethrone Siglemic for so long. Now that Punk had taken over, he was pushing the game to new heights.
Guys, you're saying Squeaks. Squeaks is to Mario what I am to Smash Bros. Ludwig's too scared to say Browns. Cheese isn't brown. He's Spanish. Or is he brown? Wait, hold up. Do I want to fucking die on this hill? Yeah, I die on this hill. He and I both are Spanish-blooded, Latinx by honor, and can tan quite deeply. Yes, I die on this hill.
But the 142 still eluded him. On July 28th,
he's from Trinidad and Tobago?
He opened a 10-second lead early. He maintained that lead all the way through the basement, with his only mistakes being relatively minor. He then balanced a big time save in Fire Sea with a bad jet stream start.
You're a real conquistador? Thank you.
In Dire Docks. So he made it upstairs with a 16-second lead, on pace for a 142. He then played a classic puncation upstairs, consistent and clean, without any huge time losses or time gains. Ahead by 19 seconds, Punke entered Bowser in the sky. He was far enough ahead that even with a mistake, he would still be able to get the 142. But the pressure was on. He still had to avoid dying or something else catastrophic. And we remember what happened last time.
Okay, nice. I think I'm safe from dying now. Oh my gosh! I swear. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this right now. Are you freaking kidding me?
No, I would actually.
I think that
I would genuinely be freaking pissed off too. That's fucked.
just ended it. I think that just ended it.
Yeah, I think it did too.
Okay, why did Punke keep failing this jump? Well, this clip explains what's going on. While the axle appears to be rotating around its center, its hitbox actually rotates around one of its points. So if you're standing on the wrong platform and jump at the wrong time, you'll run into the hitbox. Punke didn't know this, and it cost him a ton of time. Still, maybe there was just enough room to eke out the 142.
That was it, man. That was 142. I just lost 142 because the invis wall just got me 3 times. Like, are you kidding me?
He missed it by just 2 seconds. Hitting the invisible wall twice would have been okay, but 3 times was too much. He couldn't have found a more disheartening way to lose it. This was the sort of thing that might have haunted Punke for months. He could have been thinking about it every time he had a run go deep, and never quite been able to close it out. But Punke was getting so many chances,
Fucking
and was
squeaks it,
improving
bro.
so much, that he powered through the pain. And just a few days later, he came back and finished the job. $142.59.
Jesus.
By the skin of his teeth, this was the run Punke'd been chasing after all summer. And yet, he barely seemed to care. Probably because he knew his work
I'm really not that happy, Lil, I guess. I'm just a person with little
wasn't
emotion
done yet.
or something.
The run started with a slow Womp's Fortress, and in Fire Sea he fell down to miss the cycle. Those
Dude,
alone
that's crazy. Putting in 10,000 hours into a game, then being like, I don't really care, I guess. I put 3 hours into a game. I fucking get 1,000th on the leaderboard. I'm popping off. I put it on my tombstone. I'm writing down notes to tell my kids about it.
were 30 seconds of possible time save, not to mention other small mistakes throughout the run. So, rather than being satisfied with the 142, Punke just kept going. On August 16th, he got a run that capitalized on the Womp's Fortress and Fire Sea time save, but got hit by a shark in Dire Docks.
Bad. No.
Despite that, he kept the run very clean all through upstairs, and going into Rainbow Ride, he had a 13-second lead.
Nearly perfect Rainbow Ride so far. This is exactly what I need. I don't want to get like a tiny world record improvement, but I don't want to get an improvement by like 2 seconds or something. I just screwed it up.
Dude, every PB he gets is by 2 seconds or less.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so maybe not the record he was looking for, but he wasn't done yet. About a month later, Punke got another small improvement, 142.55. This time, he had slowdowns in Lethal Lava Land and the Vanish Capstar, but made up for it with a very clean upstairs. No death in Rainbow Ride. It all balanced out for another unsatisfying record. Finally, on September 24th, Punke got the type of run he was looking for. Over the past few weeks, his movement had been getting better and better, and it all came together in this one run. He gained time through the lobby, through the basement, and made it upstairs nearly a half minute ahead of the record. This was the fastest pace anyone had ever been on, and his clean gameplay continued upstairs. Punke gained time through the next 4 levels, and entering Tippy, he had a 40-second lead. In the last few levels, he finally faltered a bit. A coin fell off once again in TikTok Clock, so he had to do the backup. And in Rainbow Ride, he made an all too familiar mistake. Still, he managed to keep a good chunk of his lead, and it culminated in a final time of 1:42.41, a sizable world record, close to what he was looking for. Had Tippy gone as smoothly as the rest of the run, this might have felt close to unbeatable. Punke was now more than a full minute ahead of Siglemic's last record. This was a similar level of domination to what Siglemic had a couple years ago. Punke had done it through a combination of consistency and gradual movement.
Where's the fucking goat?
He saved fractions of a second
Cheese
here and there on stars. That adds up to a decent time save across all 120 stars. Punke was the king. At least until October 2014, when perhaps the biggest discovery in 120-star history was made. Alright, you're familiar with Cannonless.
Yeah.
This trick was the bane of 120-star runners' existence. It was effectively random. Even if you performed it correctly, you just ran at the wall and hoped to collect the star. It worked around 20% of the time, and if you didn't get it within a couple tries, you were forced to reset the run. It was possible to get stuck in this loop for a long time, and top 120-star runners hated it. But in October 2014, it was Sockfolder to the rescue. Sockfolder is a legendary glitch hunter who has found setups for tricks in popular speedruns like Ocarina of Time and Super Mario Bros. One day, he posted on Twitter, "For fun, I will make a 100% Cannonless setup." And that's exactly what he did.
That's so badass to just say, I'm going to do that shit, then do it. If I remember, his setup was like halved, right?
After a few tweaks to simplify things, Sockfolder had invented a setup to hit Cannonless every single time. You grab the wall next to the plank and pull yourself up.
I thought his started over here, and then they shortened it to over here, and then they shortened it to texture skip.
Adjust the camera, then backflip onto the plank, punch once, hold down to grab the edge of the plank, then adjust the camera once more, pull yourself up, and hold down to run off the edge.
He shortened his own, I see.
If done correctly, you'll grab the star every time. There's several steps involved, but none of it's difficult, and it wastes only a few seconds compared to running at the wall. This was so huge for the speedrun. Runners no longer had to waste hours trying Cannonless over and over. They could get so many more runs going. Now, it was only a matter of time.
Is 120-star good enough now that they're back to doing OG Cannonless?
Before Punke would get another record improvement. He continued doing attempts in late 2014. Keep in mind, the record he was up against had a very fast start. It was only in Tippy that it began to bleed time. So on December 18th...
They do Salt Cannonless? I'm out of touch. I don't know what the fuck that means. What the fuck are you even saying to me? They do it saltless? What are you even saying to me?
Despite falling as far behind as 28 seconds, he was able to bring it back.
Where's the salt?
He had a very clean TikTok clock to save 14 seconds, pushing him into the lead. And in the home stretch, Punke preserved that lead. He landed all 3 Bowser throws and closed out the run as a 142.
A player called Salt and Ginger? Can't call him that, Squeaks.
This was Punke's 11th consecutive world record. Since taking over, he'd taken exactly 1 minute and 20 seconds off the 120-star record. The simple reason for this? Punke had consistency that was unrivaled, even by Siglemic at his best. While these two were roughly equal in skill in mid-2014, as the year went on, Siglemic stopped playing and Punke just pulled away. As of late 2014, that was the state of 120-star. Punke was in full control of the leaderboard. The new Cannonless setup had opened the door to new possibilities. While Punke had already taken the time to a mid-142, there was certainly room to keep dropping it with more attempts.
This was a great time for Super Smash Bros. Melee as well.
The future was wide open. But to show you the next chapter in 120 Stars history, I actually want to go back a few months. Back to that period in mid-2014, when Punkei and Siglemic were both active, racing each other regularly and having a blast competing together. Now, we know that Siglemic's world records have largely been lost to time. So frankly, the clip I'm about to show you from a random stream of his, it's incredible that it somehow survived. This was most likely from June 3rd, 2014, just a couple weeks after Punkei first took the record from Siglemic. Sig and Punkei were about to race each other, one-on-one in 70 star. The two best runners in the world going head-to-head, with thousands of people watching live. This was gonna be good. But then, right as they were about to start, a third player joined the race. This player was a promising runner, rising up the ranks, but really nothing special yet. He was in 29th place on the leaderboard. Nobody was paying attention to this guy. Why would he join a race against number 1 and number 2? But maybe he was confident for a reason. Although he got crushed by Siglemic and Punkei in this race, he wasn't discouraged. And over the next several years, this guy would go on to set more world records, and perhaps have the greatest legacy of anybody who has ever played Super Mario 64. And the very first time that people heard his name was this clip from Siglemic's stream.
Dude, who's this random dude? Cheese05? Why did you join this race? This is the race between two titans, you'll get f***ed.
Oh my god, what a line! Fuck, it's a race between two fucking titans, bro. And then he become Titan! Oh, dude, yeah. yeah. He's definitely not the GOAT of Mario 120. Isn't it just Ouija? Don't you have it to give it to that boy? Suigi, excuse me. Green Suigi, not Ouija.
You're my mans.
Hey. All right. Okay. Good video. Good video. Damn, that was a long ass video. All right, chat. Guys, tomorrow we're playing Mario Party 4. You remember this? Yes? We're doing Mario Party 4, Mario Party League, best of 3, me and Nick versus Ben and Miles. I'm going to get all types of drunk. I'm not specifically looking forward to it, to be honest, but it is what it is. That'll be tomorrow, okay? And then Thursday I have a sponsor in the morning, early. And then Friday, I don't know what I'm going to do Friday. But then Saturday, I'm going to be watching Shopify Rebellion against Disguise DSG live at Riot Arena. I'm going to be co-streaming the League of Legends match. And that's my plan this week. Okay. Friday, Valorant? Fuck no. Oh, I might watch my Valorant team, though. What do they play? When does my North American Challengers team play? We play Thursday at 1 p.m. That is the exact same time as my sponsor. Unlucky. Okay. Can we have one game of League right now? No, now I gotta go to fucking bed. I gotta go to bed. I've been waking up at 8 a.m. I'm cooked. But I am gonna raid Sea-Dog. I'm gonna raid Connor. Connor's doing the cyclothon right now with Chris and PewDiePie. And it's Cyclothon 4. He's almost at $200,000 raised. So go give him some love. I'd appreciate it. Can we get 2 games of League? It was a clever ask because I did reject 1 game, but no, it's also a no. Donate again. I donated 5K yesterday. Today, I'm probably going to donate no K. Your stream volume's low compared to Connor's. I can increase it tomorrow. I'll figure it out. All right, chat. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm back to consistent streams. Bye. Thanks for stream. You're welcome, Squeak. Me and Squeak are in a game soon. Possibly. I think my tweet has left its... No, it's actually, it's still in the target demographic. Okay, maybe it has. All right, peace out, y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Good night. Good night, good night. Good night forever now. Good night forever. This is the last time I will ever be live. I'm gonna